Nicole Piccolomini.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, thanks for joining me on this very snowy and cold Berlin day.
So cold.
Yeah.
I have my fuzzy socks on.
Very nice. Brought your own fuzzy socks. That's great.
Even with two pairs of socks, my feet are still cold.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for being a guest. I've been doing this podcast since 2001. I started it soon after all these lockdowns started in the pandemic, and it mostly just started because I was super, super lonely. And I thought this was a way, I could sort of prey on people's,
What have you
narcissism.
been up to? Yeah,
narcissism is like, oh, he wants me to be a guest on his podcast.
I know. I'm so
my
honored.
gosh.
Wait,
Yeah.
but I'm honored to be a guest. Thank you for asking me.
and it works out so well because not only are there a lot of opera singers, and I have a lot of friends in Berlin, but there's also a lot of guests that come to the Staatsoper, that come to the Deutsche Oper Berlin, and I've done it where I have an off day. All right, hey, I'll come pick you up, and we'll have a couple hours on a podcast, and so that's worked out really well too. And I don't know if did you check out any of the episodes?
I did. I
Okay.
saw that. I saw that you had Gregory Kunde on because we were doing Chenier together.
That's right.
Last May, June.
Right.
So I need to be a bit more active on Instagram.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not like a huge social media person.
Yeah.
So
I just put my Instagram on, I don't know what they call that. It's like, it's not deleted from my phone, but I can't see it when I turn my phone on. The app is like hidden.
Oh, nice.
So I can't see it. So the page where you can like search apps?
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking, like somebody says, hey, I sent you a message on Instagram. Did you see it? Oh, no. I can go to the search apps. I can put in Instagram, and then the app is there. And I open it, and everything is fine with it. It's not like dormant or anything like that. But it's the kind of thing where I was like, I would wake up in the morning, get a coffee, check my email first, and then I'd go right to Instagram, and I would go down that hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that algorithm really sucks you in. And I was getting so depressed.
Yeah.
I reached this point where I was like, it was really affecting my mood,
Oh, I deleted Facebook
like
in
stuff.
2013.
Yeah.
I haven't been on Facebook since 2013 for this reason. I also felt like I constantly had to prove myself. And if I had time off, there was something wrong with me. And, also that was a long time ago, too.
You mean like time off from work?
Yeah, time off from work. If I had even, a few weeks off, then it was that I wasn't successful. And I had this in my head. I don't know if it was my own mind thinking this way or that Facebook was making me think this, but I said, I need a break. And so I totally understand. It's good. I have a limit actually on Instagram, 45 minutes a day.
Oh, that's really smart.
But now with all of these reels that are 10 minutes long, you could watch only 4 of them and your daily allotment is up. And these aren't even people I follow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all garbage. And there's so many bots now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There are so many bots,
I have 2 accounts. I have a private account, personal account, because I follow a lot of recipes because I'm vegan. I've been vegan for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I follow a lot of healthy recipes. I follow a lot of women's health too, with
important.
Very important. And
seems like the science is changing.
Absolutely.
All the time.
And more women are advocating for research being done, especially on perimenopause and menopause. This is something that is really, I think, coming.
I live with one.
Coming to light. And like being a singer, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm having a hot flash while I'm on stage, or why am I feeling this way? Or, you don't necessarily like want to go into a rehearsal and say like, hey, this is what's happening. But I mean, this is the reality.
Yeah,
you know,
it's crazy.
I'm 47 years old. I feel great. I take really good care of myself. But, you know, you kind of want a community where you can talk about these things freely, or maybe a podcast where you can talk about these things.
Exactly.
You know, it's I think this is really important, and it's also something that I'm really interested in. So, like you said during COVID, that you wanted something to do, and you're, and instead of me doing, you know, at-home concerts in my bedroom in New York at my mom's, because I flew to New York to see my mom, and I was like, what am I going to do? I started taking courses online about holistic healing, plant-based nutrition. I did a certificate in plant-based nutrition from Cornell online.
That's amazing.
And then after that, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Then I went and did a certificate program from a school in Canada, I can't remember, Vancouver, and it was a year-long course that it was a certified holistic nutrition coach, like health and wellness coach, with like an emphasis on the plant-based nutrition. And then after that, when COVID was over, I was like, okay, this is really something that I'm interested in. I started taking a hormone course that was 7 months long.
Oh my gosh.
And it was really focused on, of course, women's health and hormones. And I thought, oh my God, this is super cool. So that was already 3 years ago that I finished, but I'm still like really interested in learning more about this, because it's something that people don't talk about. So
I mean, now it seems like you have, you know, some degrees in this, or at least some certifications. I mean, you could do like a little consulting business or something.
I would love to. It's hard. I've tried to use friends, colleagues as quote unquote guinea pigs to like coach them for free so I can get experience and help people who have super busy lives that or have children or working or singing or traveling, and you know, something's off, whether they don't eat enough, whether they eat too much, whether they're suffering from acid reflux, or all of these things. And I've tried to do this, but the thing is, I can't do the work for you. It's just like,
we can lay out the plan, but if you're not, if you don't stick to the plan, then
it's hard. And when people
my
say,
face broke out. Well, did you stick to the plan?
Exactly.
No.
Or I don't have time. And I was like, well, this is exactly why you need, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I can help friends if they ask me, you know, if they have a cold, what they can do. And I'm really into, you know, getting to the root cause. And then if that doesn't work, then go for antibiotics. If it's for a cold, yes. If it's something more serious, of course, you know, then we have to work with medicine. But for like a simple cold, or you know, aches and pains that are caused by, you know, it could be food that you're eating, inflammatory stuff like this. So yeah, this is something that I'm like super passionate about. And then actually after that, I started doing facial reflexology, which...
What is that?
It calms and regulates the nervous system. Singers, listen up.
Yeah, wait, say it again. Facial
reflexology. Yep.
Okay.
So it's like reflexology of the hands and feet.
Write that down. Go ahead.
And there are points in the face that correspond with the organs in our body, and our organs hold emotions. So
I knew that our muscles did, because I would like have a massage and I would start to feel like something emotional, you know, like a little bit of sadness sometimes, or sometimes euphoric or something like that, you know. And I was just like, this is weird, you know. And then I think I heard that somewhere in an interview. It's like, did you know your muscles hold emotions?
Yes,
and your
absolutely.
organs do
and
too.
The organs do too. So this is like,
wow.
I hate to use this as an example, but it's probably the easiest. Someone who abuses alcohol, liver holds anger.
Really?
Yeah. So the liver point on the face, if it's like stagnant, so when the points on the face are stagnant or lumpy, or you're working through, I have a tool that I use that is a stainless steel, it looks like a pen. And it has it has a round tip, and you're not like digging into your skin.
You're kind of massaging.
You're massaging for like 15, 20 seconds, the points on the face, and you could feel when something is out of balance. It's amazing. I started this actually during COVID, and I remember this was wild. I had like I don't know if it was like a cyst, and it was right above my lip, like the mustache line.
Okay.
On the right side, and it was
on the inside or on the outside? On the outside?
It was like an ingrown. It was almost like it was
like
just
an
like
ingrown hair or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know what it was. And this was where the adrenal glands. This is where the adrenal glands are. And I contacted my teacher, and I was like, I have this lump. And she's like, your body is totally detoxing. She said, work on it. Don't overwork it, but it will go away. Knock on wood, went away and never came back.
Wow.
Like once I got that under, they talk about this adrenal fatigue. This is when your body is just like, your adrenal glands are pumping out so much cortisol and you're stressed, and we were all stressed, and it just erupted on my face. This is how my body was telling me, whoa, you need a detox.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It's so fascinating. Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about that.
So I'm actually also a practitioner in facial reflexology. I did a course 3 years ago, I think. I went out to South Dakota. Me in South Dakota, like in the middle of nowhere. And it was fantastic. And we all stayed at our teacher's house in the Black Hills, I think it was. Yeah. And there were 4 other women there, and coming from all walks of life, and just coming together for this 1 week retreat. And we left. I left a completely different person.
That's amazing.
It was, and I was like, every adult needs to do a retreat at least once a year. Just like let go of shit that you are hanging on to, and just detox. And it was the only week in my life that I did not wear makeup. Our teacher was like, no makeup.
Yeah.
No. We couldn't even wear moisturizer, nothing. Gosh. And please don't listen to this, Jackie Van Ruler, but I did sneak eye cream for sure. And I was like, I need eye cream at night just in case. So it was a very interesting time in my life. Yeah. So these are the things that I'm, that have actually, and that have helped. Facial reflexology has literally helped me with singing.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because it calms and regulates the nervous system.
Yeah.
And even when you're on fight or flight, or when you feel like you're having an anxiety attack on stage, and I'm just like, no, not happening.
Yeah.
Super calm. I do it every morning and every night. Even if I have a flight at 6 a.m, I will wake up early so I can take a shower and do at least 15 minutes of facial reflexology. It is like non-negotiable for me.
Yeah.
And then right before bed, and usually I'm falling asleep while I'm doing my facial reflexology. And it's just like out. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I had something really crazy happen to me in November. I think I had the podcast with Greg in the beginning of November, like somewhere around the first week. And then I had a concert in Newport, Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. I flew to Newport and my forehead was feeling weird. Like, I don't know, like, did you ever have this feeling where maybe you're about to get a zit and you can kind of feel it under it, you know? And
yes.
It's not that it doesn't itch like a mosquito bite, but you can kind of feel like there's weirdness, right? And I sort of had that feeling. I was like, what's going on? I don't know. And I did this concert. It wasn't high stress, but it's always like, you know, traveling is always a little bit stressful. And I came back and I was like here one day, and then I had a hockey game and I had this new helmet and it was too tight. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of stress and too tight helmet, right? I got home and I was like, I'm exhausted. Went to bed. Woke up the next day. My whole forehead and like down over my eye had just like exploded. And it was like something, it reminded me something beyond acne, like beyond what acne is. And so my wife was actually, she was traveling for business as well. So she wasn't here, but I took a picture of my face and I sent it to her and she was like, you have to go to the doctor right now.
Right now, yeah.
So I went to the doctor and he was like, yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to send you to the hospital. So he sent me to the hospital. And luckily, we live right around the corner from the Benjamin Franklin Charité. Mm-hmm. Like one of the best hospitals in Europe is a half a mile, 1 kilometer from our apartment. Mm-hmm. So I just walked over there and they were expecting me, like my doctor had called ahead and they put me through all these tests and they're like, dude, you have shingles on your face. They're like, we're going to admit you for 7 days. They put me right up in a hospital bed. I got the whatever meds they were giving me, antiviral meds, I think is what they were, right into my arm 3 times a day. That was a 45-minute treatment I had 3 times a day. They would wake me up at 6 a.m.
That's intense.
You're like leaning back for me.
No, because
it's not contagious.
No, I know, but the thing is, shingles, like, I think it's
bad news.
And it's caused by, it can be
stress.
caused by stress
and tight clothing.
And
usually.
It could very well be your helmet. And also when you're sweating, even if you're playing ice hockey, do you play ice hockey? Or
ice hockey.
Still, that I'm sure if you hadn't been wearing that helmet, for sure,
for sure, probably wouldn't have. So, and also you were mentioning glands. There's apparently, never knew this. There is a gland like here behind your ear. Never knew that. Yeah. Okay. And what happened was this thing blew up. Yep. Was like a little golf ball under just at the base of my skull right here. And it just like blew up. And I mean, it was pushing on whatever is right there. My brain, my ears, whatever is like right behind here. And I was having these massive migraines. So they put me on like a very low dose of Advil. Right. So I was in the hospital for 7 days, and I'm getting these treatments and stuff like that.
Was this the gland that was swollen that was caused by
the shingles? It was a reaction. So it was a reaction from the body. I guess when it swells like that, it's like a overproduction of white blood cells or something like that. So that's exactly what had happened. I mean, we check these all the time, right?
All the time.
Every day I'm like, is this, here on my neck, the glands on my swell?
The dentist, they do the same thing. They check your glands.
But I never even knew I had one here, and that got me thinking, it's like, where else do I have glands where I don't, where I don't know? You probably know.
I think, they say like, well, also I'm very like into the lymphatic system because this is really, it's basically
I started doing a little routine.
Our immune system, when it's just stagnant, and it's easy for that to happen this time of year when it's so cold. We're not as active and things get tight and they don't move around. We're relaxing, and...
Totally. Hold that thought. We're just going to take a little quick... We'll talk about that. All right, we're back. Just a little quick little pause. So we were talking about the lymphatic system.
I'm just so fascinated by this because our bodies are meant to, I mean, people might think this is a little crazy, but they're meant to heal itself.
Yes.
Do you know when you take care of when you really take care of your body.
Yes.
You know, I mean, yes, things happen, but it's good to take care of yourself and not run yourself into the ground.
I think that's understated, what you just said. Like, our bodies are actually designed to heal themselves. Yeah. Because I just sort of had a new perception on listening to podcasts and certain interviews and things like that. I have a completely new perception about what medicine actually does for us. Most of the time, what medicine does for us is it kickstarts our own body. Yeah. It like kickstarts the immune system to do something, to cure something in the body. And I had never thought of medicine like that before. And that's completely amazing. But the lymphatic system, I just started this sort of, it's a little exercise routine, and it's meant to sort of flush your lymphatic system. But it's like a lot of hopping.
Yes. This is
and like shaking out your hands.
Chinese medicine. And just getting it moving. Yeah. You know, and as I said, like this time of year, we're just lounging around inside, staying in bed longer, wearing a lot of clothes. Like I noticed, okay, so, you know, I'm wearing like skinny jeans.
Are you warm
today.
enough? Because I can get you like a blanket or something.
Cool.
It's okay? All right. Just
wearing skinny jeans, and then I'm like, well, I love to wear my socks that go over my knees because I'm always cold and I want my feet to be warm. And I was like, whoa, I can't wear all of these clothes. And like, so, and that also when you're wearing clothes that are way too tight, this also disrupts the flow of lymph. So like, you know, and I noticed that when I have my coat and my gloves on, I always wear my beads. These, like, energetically give me, you know, the luck that I'm, you know, they're the first things that I put on after a shower, and I have my little watch on and all of these, and I'm like, it's too tight, and it's like, it's disrupting the flow. Yeah. So, this is something that's, I mean, I've always been active because I started dancing really, really young.
Oh, really?
So, I started, I've been on stage for 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, we should talk about that because you know, it seems like it with opera singers, especially American opera singers, because we don't grow up with opera being sort of a mainstream culture thing. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, I was 18 when the Three Tenors thing came out. You know, when the first concert they did in Rome. And even that was sort of just on my peripheral kind of thing. It wasn't until I met a friend of mine from Vienna, where, you know, I like to say, you know, opera to him is what baseball and apple pie is to us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it's on TV every night. Yeah. You could get standing room tickets. You know, he was getting standing room tickets at the Staatsoper for like €2 or something as a teenager, you know, and he just showed me everything about opera. Not so much about singing, but about opera. Because I had really not, I knew very, very little about it. So
that's amazing.
Anyway,
my mom introduced me to it. You know, growing up on Long Island, I think we do have access because of New York City and being so close to New York City. And, I mean, it's the way everything, I think, just was, I don't know, meant to be. I'm also one of these people that think, okay, like your path is your path and you can kind of create your own path. But I feel like some things were just meant to be. And like, growing up on Long Island and, you know, having my mom, who is not an artist, but is very open. And when I was growing up, my mom was a belly dancer.
Belly. You said belly, not ballet.
Not belly. A ballet dancer. My mom was a belly dancer.
Also sort of a fringe art form, but
she and I remember her dancing around the living room and I would go to class with her, and it's just something that she was blessed with, the ability to move her body this way. Yeah. And I was not. like that. And she danced at parties and she made her own costumes and was so stunning. And I just admire her. And then, like, I don't know, 85, 86 maybe, a dance studio was opening right by our house. And my mom was like, Nick, do you want to take dancing lessons? And I was like, yes. And I grew up going to the studio, Broadway Dance. That was like literally just across this main, it wasn't a very big street, but a 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
And and I've only done one other podcast and I talked about this because it's just so funny.
That's okay.
Like, yeah. And then in the summer of 1986, my mom was like, there's a movie you should rent. So my mom was working and I was home. My two brothers were, we're close in age, but they're off doing their thing with their friends. And my mom's like, Nick, you should rent this movie. And there was a video store right across the street from the dance studio. And she's like, it's a chorus line. Go rent it.
Yeah.
So with Michael Douglas and like, I love this movie.
Okay.
And it came out in 1985 and it came out on VHS in 96. And I go to the video store and
I sort of miss tapes and stuff.
Oh man. And this was so funny. I'm 6 years old about it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I should be, is that right? Math? Anyway, I was about 6 years old.
Yeah.
And how old I was in 1986. And I go and I rent this movie and they're like, this is rated R and you can't rent this.
Oh,
and I said,
right.
my mom said
because it had like
you
swearing in it and stuff, right? There's nudity too,
there's,
right?
There's so much. I mean, it's like really, it's about the arts in the 80s and like, and New York City and, the grittiness of pounding the pavement, as they say. So I was like, my mom said you can call her at work. They called my mom and they're like, there's a little girl here that wants to rent this movie and it's rated R. And my mom's like, I said that she could rent it. It has dancing and singing in it. It's totally fine.
Right. Okay.
And the rental was like $3.
Yeah.
Or like $2.50. Like it was nothing. And you got it for 3 days. And I took it back 3 days later and I was like, I'm renting it again. And I went and all summer and I watched it multiple times a day.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
was obsessed. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And I remember A Chorus Line was on Broadway at the time. And my mom took me to see it right before it closed on Broadway.
Oh my gosh.
And like, so yeah. And my mom was the one. And she still supports me. I still call her every day and like ask her about the business and what I should do and how I should react to certain things. And since she's not in the business, she just gives me an honest, clear opinion.
Yeah.
Of course, someone who loves me and who has supported me every single step of the way, and I'm so grateful. But she was the one who started it all. Mm-hmm. And then when I was taking dance lessons, I was like, I want to be a dancer on Broadway. And my teacher said to my mom, she wants to be on Broadway. If she wants to be on Broadway, she has to learn how to sing. And I was like 10. And my mom's like, Nick, do you want to take singing lessons? Ask your teacher in elementary school if she teaches singing lessons.
Okay.
And I was 11, so I started taking voice lessons at 11. And it was in the summer.
Wow.
And I remember we didn't have a piano. And I had lessons in my bedroom. At the foot of the bed, we had a keyboard. My teacher had a chair. And I had singing lessons there.
Wow.
And then the people down the block, the Dohertys, amazing. They still live there. They had a piano. And their daughter took piano lessons, and they were like, Nicole can have her singing lesson at our house.
That's so nice.
And like everyone was just so supportive, and like I would have my singing lessons, and then I would run to my ballet class, and I was taking tap, jazz, ballet, and taking singing lessons, and here I was 11 years old.
Amazing.
And was like on this one track mind of this is what I want to do. But first it was I want to be a dancer, and then it was I want to do musical theater for like a very short time, but then realized I couldn't belt and I didn't have this ability because I was taking singing lessons, and my mom was bringing home CDs from the library. And it was Renato Scotto, Leontine Price, Kiri Te Kanawa, like all of these singers. And she would put them under my pillow. And when I went to bed, I would see that I had a CD. It was like a surprise. That, and then, you know, bought me my own CD player, and then just, you know, built this collection of CDs over the years. So that's basically how.
And you probably weren't even realizing what you were listening to. I mean, you didn't know the stories or anything unless you actually did some research on it. But you were learning the repertoire.
Yeah, I was learning the repertoire.
You were learning the repertoire. You know, my mom was a church organist. You know, and I had the whole thing I had the whole music part of it memorized in my head.
That's so cool.
I know what comes next. I know this hymn. I know that, you know.
So you also grew up with it too, and but
I grew up with the music part, but not with opera. My parents were not. My dad was a band director and a symphonic orchestra director, and he also did pit orchestras for musicals.
Yeah, great.
Yep, he did a lot. He did. I remember 6 or 7 years old, I saw him do Oklahoma.
Oh, nice.
I think he did Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah, all the classics.
The King and I, you know, things like that. And he was also a French horn player. So sometimes he would play in the pit with his French horn as well. So yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of theater. And, you know, I mean, I think I have some old photos where my parents sort of dragged me out on stage. I'm like in Lederhosen or something, you know. It was some... you know, whatever it was. But I never had a formal singing lesson until I was 20.
Wow.
Yeah, until like I was at university, undergrad, Gettysburg College. My dad had gone there, so it was liberal arts school, but they had a music department.
Right.
And I had met this guy from Vienna, and he was showing me I knew a lot about music, but I didn't know about opera.
Right.
He was teaching me about the opera, and I had a few singing lessons when I was 20 years old. And the history part, I was studying history, was not working out so well. Wow. I've told this on my podcast too. So I decided to just switch to music and like sort of see how things go. And, you know.
And then it just sucked you in. You're like, no.
Well, also, you know, and also with, I think, first of all, being male, you have an unfair advantage, especially in the U.S. Because, first of all, there are so few men.
Yeah.
So it's like you do these like opera workshops or anything like that. It's 50 girls.
Yep.
And
all sopranos.
5 guys. Yeah, totally. You know, and 4 of the guys are baritones.
Yeah.
So the fact that I, you know, from a very early age, my high notes were pretty good.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, my high notes were pretty good. I had to work out my passaggio, and I had to work out a lot of vowel things. I remember I think it was my first or second year studying as a voice major, I got Die Spieltnis. And of course, I would crack on the G every single time, you know.
One,
and it's, you know, I didn't have the right teacher until I found Arthur Levy to really sort of get me the technique to sing that repertoire, because everything was like too high. You know, it's very natural for the men because we're using the strength of our body and we're pushing everything up, right? So like the larynx doesn't stay down, and of course it will destroy your G, your F sharps and G's if you do that. So every time was this is
what's happening?
And you know, my teacher at the not at Gettysburg, but where I went next, she was very much into the imagery thing.
So we would not, something and I mean, that I am not into when it comes to singing techniques.
It's really all imagery, right? Yeah. Because we can't see our larynx being lowered and things like that, you know. But
absolutely agree with you on that.
But this, you know,
floating
I would
on
do
a
that.
Cloud.
This was. I remember this distinctly when I sang it for her, and she said, "Now, when you get to this part, think of lambs jumping over a fence." I'm just thinking to myself, I probably need a little bit more than that.
I feel like I'm from Long Island.
You know, I'm a hockey player. Like, I grew up playing ice hockey. I need a little bit more than that.
You're like, I'm sorry, if someone gets in my way, I just punch them. Like, come on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, but I mean... So you then you got into Juilliard.
Then first throughout high school, I was really active. We actually had a good program at Hicksville High School, a music program. And just like being in chorus and madrigals, we did a lot of very classical music. We did this.
Did you do musicals at the school?
I did the musicals for
What did you
3 years, and I had the lead all 3. And I did the musicals. I started my sophomore year, and we were doing Once Upon a Mattress.
Ah,
and of course Carol Burnett was.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that man right out of my hair.
No,
Is it that
this
one?
was.
No. That's
I'm shy. I mean, yeah, she sings.
Okay.
She comes out and it's based on The Princess and the Pea.
Right.
So it's hilarious. And I don't really remember it so well, but I do remember going into the audition, and it's so funny. I opened up the door, and it was in like our chorus room. And I opened up the door and I tripped and fell.
Oh my gosh.
And I think they were like, we have our Winifred.
Yeah,
like,
there we go.
And my mom would totally agree. I don't consider myself a funny person. I think that I'm actually quite serious.
I think you're funny.
But I sometimes like to think, oh yeah, I'm funny. Like,
yeah,
you know, out of like, I have 2 older brothers. Like the middle one is like the funny one. You know, I'm not. But they like the next day it was like, okay, well now she has the lead in a musical, but I couldn't belt. I was like, what am I doing? I had no idea what to do. And then the next year we did, because it had just closed on Broadway, because we're like 30 miles from New York City. Carousel had just closed on Broadway.
Okay.
And our drama teacher got the rights to do Carousel that year, and that was my junior year, and I sang the role of Nettie Fowler.
Okay.
The one who sings "June is busting out all over," and "You'll never walk alone." Like,
yeah.
And she was like, "We need a powerhouse voice for You'll Never Walk Alone," and here I am, like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that was, I think it was like, okay, I could definitely do this. But it was like, I don't want to do musical theater. I like this more legit singing, this more classical singing. And I had been studying privately with a teacher for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then senior year, we did Kiss Me Kate. And I did Kate.
Yes.
Yes, and it was so much fun.
I love Cole Porter because you can sing it. You can really sing it. You don't have to belt it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I didn't belt it because I didn't know how to belt. At the time, I was a soprano. And also, my senior year, my mom fought the Board of Education in Hicksville to get me into a arts school that was on Long Island. And at the time, it was called the Cultural Arts Center. Okay. And it was BOCES. It was part of this program that your high school offered to, and I hate to say this, but this is really what it was. It was more like troubled teens who had issues in school. So they would send them to do like mechanics and to do kind of like trade work. And they were great programs and they really helped teenagers get on track. Sure. And my mom found out that there was a school on Long Island that had singing, dancing, visual arts, jazz, and it was a half day or a whole day program. And if your school allowed you to go whole day, the district paid for it.
Wow.
And my mom, and they said, we're not going to pay, because it was one of these programs that cost a lot more money because of the instruments and, you know, and the stage, and we had performances. And my mom was like, then I'm pulling her out and putting her into a pre-college program. And like either homeschooling or whatever. And they finally sent me, and my mom opened up the door for other kids in Hicksville to go to the Cultural Arts Center. And now it's awesome. Like Long Island School of the Arts.
My daughter went there for drawing.
Yes.
And her junior and senior year.
Yeah,
she went
and
there.
I've gone back. I went back and I did a master class like before COVID, and would go back as a guest artist for their alumni program. And this is how I got into Juilliard.
Okay.
So I was kind of recruited.
Did you? Okay. So because somebody saw you at. Somebody recognized.
Yes, they had it was like a college fair. And they chose students who they thought were in like getting ready to graduate to perform. And there were pianists, there were instrumentalists, there were drama students, there were dance students, there were musical theater. And we had this afternoon, and someone from Juilliard was there. And I remember it was on a Friday night, and my mom's like, Nick, Myrna, the voice teacher at BOCES at Cultural Arts Center, is on the phone and wants to talk to you. And she's like, you have to apply to Juilliard. And I said, what? She said, they were there today and they were really impressed, and you have a really good chance. You still have to do the full process of like
application, audition,
sending in a tape. A tape.
Just audio.
Audio tape.
Okay.
But 5 arias, and I remember.
Did you know 5 arias at that time?
Well, it was like art songs. You had to do Italian art song, something in English. It was 1 aria, maybe a German lead or something. And I remember my mom's like, where am I going to get the money for this? Like, she was already working 3 jobs, and I had to make a recording. And they needed a professional recording. And the teacher at BOCES said, I know someone you can go. And my brother drove me to Roslyn Heights or wherever it was. And this guy had
a studio.
And he played the piano. And Mason, his name was Mason Senf, I think. And he was so cool. I actually reached out to him like a couple of years ago. And he's like, of course I remember you. But like, this costs money, you know. And I remember my oldest brother, Joey, sitting there. And he said to my mom, don't worry, she's doing well. Like, it was so cool because... That's
so nice.
Yeah, and Mason picked this song for me and said, this is going to be your English American song. And I believe it's what, like, ultimately got me into Juilliard. And it was Thomas Passettieri, Vocal Modesty. And it's like one of the greatest songs. And he said... Frederica von Stade sang this for all of her encores, and so. And
I don't know it. I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's super cute, and
it sounds like it was probably written for her, or
I'm not. I think it could have been, and it's almost like that song. I Want to Be a Prima Donna, but it was a bit lower. I was a soprano at the time, but I was one of these sopranos that was like. Not really should have ever been a soprano. Okay. And I sang Allerseelen by Strauss.
Oh, yeah.
Those were my 2. I started with Allerseelen, and they asked for a vocal modesty. And then I got called back to Juilliard for another audition. I started with Allerseelen. My mom bought me these 2 beautiful velvet dresses. Aww. One in green, like this deep, like we call it bottle green, and black. And I wore them for my auditions, and I started with Allerseelen, Strauss, one of my favorite songs, and they asked for a vocal modesty, and then that was it. Spent 4 years at Juilliard studying as a soprano, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Can you say who your teacher was?
Yeah, Dan Farrow, rest in peace. He was like a father to me. I love Dan. Yeah, and I went to his vocal programs in Greve and Chianti Italy in 1999 was the first year I went. And also my mom was like, how am I going to get the money? But this kid is just like, she wants to go, like, I can't say no. So my mom just like, she
figured it out.
That woman is just, you know, it's just so, I know how lucky and blessed I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I went
and the cost of living in Long Island is really high too.
Yeah.
So yeah, she really.
Yeah, working 3,
That's great.
Mary. Yeah.
Aww.
The real goat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
like, put me through Juilliard, and I mean, I had scholarship, but put me through Juilliard. You know,
living in Manhattan,
living
not cheap.
In Manhattan. Yeah,
also not cheap.
This was I told you earlier. I was there in 1996 to 2000. You know, and I think tuition then 96. I have to when I go visit my mom. I know I have a book, like the admissions book where it just you know breaks down the courses and like and tuition. I think it was then over 25,000 basic tuition in 1996.
Yep.
I can't even imagine what it is 26 years later.
Yeah.
Like insane. When I graduated in 2000. So that was already almost 26 years ago. So like almost 30 years ago. Oh my God, it's crazy. So yeah, but yeah, that's how it happened. And then right after Juilliard, I switched to mezzo, and it was like, okay, this is where it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you continue at school? Did you get a
No.
No, it's just private study?
Yeah,
okay.
private. I was like,
Good.
I actually did not get accepted to Juilliard Masters.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a great story though. I love Juilliard, and now I've been very active when I'm in New York to attend alumni. You know, I'm a proud Juilliard graduate for sure, absolutely. You know, it's part of my story, it's part of my training, and they did not accept me for a master's. They waitlisted me. And I told a friend who I met, who lives in Berlin, and we met at a Juilliard alumni event last summer here in Berlin in June. And I was like, Juilliard didn't accept me for a master's. They waitlisted me. And I was 21 years old. And I took that letter down to the admissions office. And I slapped it down on the desk.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, the balls I had.
Yeah.
And I said, you can take me off your waiting list. I don't want to be anyone's second choice because my talent is not second rate. I turned around and walked out.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
You were like 22?
I was 21.
21.
I graduated at 21. So
gosh.
So I was 21 at the time. Yep.
Yeah.
And
that's so insane.
This was like the Long Island coming out in me. I said, you can take me off your waiting list. I will not be anyone's second choice because my talent is not second rate. You know, like people say, fake it till you make it. Like, it was just, and I turned around and I walked out and I left the letter there. And then after I sang my jury, they offered me a spot in the master's program. And I said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm done with school. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And I was like, I'm already a master. Like, and I didn't think that I was so full of myself. I just said, it's just not for me. What am I going to do I don't feel it's the right path for me. And, you know, it's a shame because if I wanted to teach at a university, if I ever decide to move back to the United States, I would need a master's. So I can't teach. Like, I can't be a professor of singing at an institution. And I'm okay with that. But then I took, 2 years? And then I went to AVA. I went to the Academy of Vocal Arts in Philadelphia. Yeah. And I had switched to mezzo and I had worked on, and AVA was really like the jumping off point.
They crank them out there.
It's an intense 4-year program. You are singing, you are performing, you're coaching, and there are no excuses. And I did not miss, I think I only missed in 4 years 1 day of school.
Wow.
While I was there, school.
4 years you were
4
there?
years.
Okay.
I never called out sick except for 1 day.
Wow.
And I was like a sponge, just absorbing everything, because there were only like 2 or 3 mezzos there.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a school, for whatever reason, for mezzos.
Right.
But like, we did a piano production of Das Rheingold. We did a piano production of Electra.
Wow.
And I sang Clytemnestra.
Wow.
And they were like, whoa, this is definitely showing us something. And I mean, I've only sung the role professionally once in Bonn in 2019, but it was like, yeah, this is definitely the repertoire. And Bonn actually wanted me for Carmen. I'm a mezzo who's never sung. I'm a dark-haired mezzo who's never
gosh.
sung. Yeah. Yup.
And easy on the eyes.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that is really surprising.
Yeah, very surprising.
Wow. Is it a role you want to do, or?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I don't feel that it... I don't feel that it speaks to me. There are so many singers who can just sing rings around me and do it justice that I don't feel that I can authentically bring. I sang Maddalena Rigoletto for almost 20 years, for 19 years, I think. And this was my quote-unquote signature role. I had done it so many, like at least 12 productions. I've done it in concert several times. And it was something... And it's funny, like, if you sing Maddalena, chances are you sing Carmen. Or if you sing Carmen, you'll definitely sing Maddalena. And I was not, that was just not my path.
Yeah.
Because straight from AVA, I came to Berlin. And I came to Deutsche Oper Berlin.
Right.
Because I won the scholarship.
Right, the scholarship. That's the stipendium, right?
Yeah, the American Opera Foundation.
Right.
And they're just... amazing.
Yeah.
What they've been doing for, it's got to be almost close to 30 years, I think. And at the time, it was just sending over 1 or 2 singers, and
break that down a little bit, because I think I know 90% of what happens with that. I mean, I remember, I think I did the audition in New York for that, but it starts out as a competition, right? It's in New York.
It's not really a competition. It's like, it's basically whatever the ensemble needs. They just happen to need that next season a mezzo and a low mezzo who could sing Flosshilde in Rheingold Götterdämmerung, Maddalena Rigoletto. I did the Countess in Andrea Chenier, things like this. And
so that once they choose you from the auditions, if you want to,
and that was it. They offered. It was an offer.
And then you do a program called the Stipendium, right? Is it called the Stipendium?
Well, you're.
But basically, you're an ensemble.
You're an ensemble member, but
you're like a junior ensemble member, right?
Well, I mean, I was on stage like every single night.
But I mean, the pay scale is.
It
is like one. It's one Fach lower than what the regular ensemble is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I was getting. It was $10,000 at the time from the foundation.
From the foundation, yeah.
And it was broken up each month. And at the time when I won in 2006, that's when the dollar was like,
Eek.
The dollar next to the euro was awful.
Yeah, so it's like 500 euros a month.
I was basically getting 500, and then I was getting a bit of money also from the opera because I was singing there.
Right.
And it was like 300, 400 euros a month.
Was it? It was a monthly thing, or it was?
The pay was monthly.
Yeah,
but I was literally at that time. It was much different than it is now. I haven't been in the ensemble since 2000.
And I think I think the Deutsche Oper Berlin is unique in the sense that I don't know another opera house in Germany that has that. And now, a lot of opera houses have opera studios, but those studio kids don't go on stage.
Yeah.
sometimes they'll cover roles, but they're in classes every day. They'll do some outreach kind of thing, but they won't put them on stage. And the stipendium kids, they go on stage.
One of the first roles I ever did was Federica and Louisa Miller with Neil Shikoff singing.
Oh my God,
Rodolfo.
Now that's the way
Within
you get
2
experience.
months.
Yeah.
Not only that, it was also repertoire. So that meant 10 days of rehearsal, 1 rehearsal on stage with orchestra, and that was it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, especially if it's a remount,
and yes, it was part of the operas that are in repertoire at that time. They were just pounding them out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's like there now. I've only been back as a guest, but the ensemble was different when I was there. We were doing the small roles, and they were bringing guests in to do the bigger roles. And there were a few operas that were just the ensemble singers, the fest singers, like Zauberflöte,
right,
Le Nozze di Figaro, things like this. But my first season I did that. I did the ring cycle, the old Goetz-Friedrich ring cycle.
Okay.
I was, and this was before social media, and this was when digital cameras were just coming out.
Yeah.
I have no photos of any of these things because it was like I didn't have Wi-Fi in the apartment. It wasn't a big thing when I got here. Yeah. And it's so sad that I was singing with iconic singers. Yeah. And
no photos.
And of course I realized it because I was always so into who I was singing with, but it's I don't have any photo. I sang one of my first operas was with Neil Shikoff.
Yeah,
at the time, he was a colleague. This is, it's just crazy. Yeah. Or doing Andrea Chenier with Salvatore Letitra, who was a friend of mine, rest in peace. And and now I look back and singers that I've sung with have passed on.
Yeah.
It's totally crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've been having a career for more than 20 years. And it's gone by so fast. And I feel I wish I remember everyone who was in that first ring cycle, this legendary ring cycle that I was in, that I got to do twice or 3 times.
So you started in 2000?
2006.
2006?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I graduated Juilliard 2000.
And then
I went to AVA from 2002 to 2006.
Okay.
And then went straight to Deutsche Oper.
And where were you for 9/11? Were you living in New York at that time?
I was living in New York.
Me too.
I was working. This shop no longer exists because of the construction they did in Lincoln Center. I was working at the gift shop of Lincoln Center, which was underground.
I've been there.
I worked there I worked there for 9 months, right before I went to AVA.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. After I graduated Juilliard, I did some little freelance gigs. I was walking dogs. I was, I used to take care of Nora London's dogs while she was away in the summer. Nora. Yeah.
Amazing.
And while I was kind of switching from soprano to mezzo, I did the Caramore program.
Yep.
In summer, Will Crutchfield. Also, someone I still work. I actually saw him last minute in August when I got a call to jump in for Trovatore in Australia.
Yeah.
In Perth. They called me. I had just less than a month. And I was in New York visiting my mom. I was renewing my passport. And I was oh, I need my passport. I was expediting it 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
I had to expedite
you told me the story in the cafe, but say it again.
3 days. 3 days because
gosh.
they had to get me a work visa.
Right.
Really fast.
Right.
Normally it takes 50 days. They got it in 6 days.
Jeez.
And they were you're one of the most organized people we've ever worked with. That's what they said in the opera house when I got there.
That's
and I was
awesome.
I am just, that's why these things, I have to, it has to be super, super organized because no one's doing it for you unless you're paying them. But yeah, I saw Will. He got me, had very little time, but saw him a couple of times. So Will's been there. Yeah, there was a time that I didn't see him, of course, for a long time, and of course COVID and things like this.
Yeah.
But I sang Maddalena and Rigoletto and Caramore in 2014 with Georgia Jarman. Yeah, and then we sang it together the following 2015 in Santa Fe. So, but yeah, Will's been like, I would say kind of like a mentor.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah,
and
great.
Steered me away from a lot of repertoire that I wanted to sing, but like, he said, why are you singing this? And then he was the one who was like, you have to sing Erda, Siegfried, and, these roles. And, just a coach who knows the voice and knows how it works and knows how to get the best grounded sound out of you. But his dad was also a singer. And the thing is, Will can demonstrate too. He's not a singer, but if you're like, well, I can't, show me if you could, and he can do it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I always did some of my best singing with him because he just knew how to get that chest voice. And I hate to use that word because I always feel like
body in the sound.
I always say it's not chest voice, it's just naturally how my voice is, but he just knows how to get that connection from the depths to the top.
Yeah.
And singing teachers know how, but he has just this ease of explaining it with no bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
you ever see the video of the guy? I think he's an American guy, and he calls himself a tenor. I don't know that he's actually sung anything, but he did this basically like a homemade documentary.
Oh.
He goes over to Italy, and he can speak Italian, and he interviews these old divas. Not divas, diva, mezzo soprani. And the name of the documentary is What is Chest Voice? Or something like that.
Got it.
And he goes up to these sopranos, like I think I remember Simonati was one. Simonati was one.
Simeonato, yes.
Simeonato, that's it. And there were like all
Fedora Barbieri.
Yes, she was one.
Yes.
They were all. It was all like these mezzo divas who from this age.
Yeah.
And he goes up to them and he goes,
age of singing.
And he goes, in Italian, he says, "What is voce di petto?"
Yeah, this
and
is
does it
Fedora
exist?
Barbieri, and she goes,
yeah. Oh yeah, quickly. Yeah, she sings something from quickly right away. And this guy, I don't know. So have you seen that clip?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Circulating around.
What is this guy's name? I can't remember now, but he's the strangest dude because when he speaks in his falsetto. Hello, let me tell you. Let me ask you now. What is voce di petto? And then they'll say a joke or something, and when he laughs in his chest voice. So it's like, oh, that's so.
I'm gonna have to look on YouTube for that. Yes, I remember this was circulating around.
I mean, and this was like late 90s when he did this. Yeah, this was like late 90s.
Yeah.
And I have a thicker blanket if you want.
Oh, chilly.
Yeah. It's not super warm in here, and alt-bow apartment, so.
Oh, I like it.
So, yeah, but 9/11. So I was in New York for 9/11 too.
Yeah.
So I had done Glimmerglass, and from Glimmerglass, at that time it was the same administration that was running City Opera. And City Opera offered me this contract to. At the time, they called it a weekly singer.
Yes,
because they actually paid you every week.
Yeah,
and it was pretty good actually. The pay was not bad, but I was actually. We had a dress rehearsal that morning, final dress rehearsal for flute, and I was singing The First Priest the Erste Priester in Magic Flute. And that was going to be my debut, actually.
Wow.
And so we had, and you know how dress rehearsals, people don't know, in New York City, so at the Met and at City Opera, they do them at 11 o'clock in the morning.
11 o'clock in the morning, yep.
So your makeup call is 9.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, right
if they're
around
gonna,
the time.
if they're gonna wig you or anything like that. So I'm on the train at 8:15 or something, because I had an apartment in Inwood. And I'm on the train coming down 125th Street, the train stops. They're like, everybody get off. And I'm like, what's going on? This lady's like, I don't know, some idiot ran his plane into the... Because, like, we didn't know.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we really didn't know what was going on.
I think I was on 76th Street or whatever station I was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I go to a payphone. Still on the platform.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, they had them on the platform.
Yeah, totally.
And so I'm at 125th Street, Harlem, on the platform. I'm like, payphone. And I call the opposite. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm going to be late. I guess I'm going to take a cab down there or something like that. And whoever I was talking to in the administration office, they were like, go home. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because this is when cell phones and all the cell towers went out. Everything went out.
They didn't have enough cell towers to handle all of the traffic. And so I was lucky I got a cab, and he only took, I'm at 200th Street where Inwood is. So he only took me as far as like 170th or something, like Washington Heights. And he was like, I'm just not going any farther. I'm going to go home. And I was like, okay. So I walked the last 30 blocks back to my apartment. And it was only then when I got in my apartment, turned on CNN and saw what was going on.
Yeah, I was working at that gift shop, Lincoln Center.
Were you actually at Lincoln Center when the shit was going down?
I was in Lincoln Center. Yes, and they said you have to evacuate now. They were evacuating everyone from Lincoln Center.
And did you know what was going on? You saw maybe some TV or...
I saw, because I knew the guys who worked, building and grounds.
Yeah.
And they were like, you have to go. They're evacuating Lincoln Center. And the trains I had to walk. I was living on Amsterdam and 95th, between 95th and 6th.
Okay.
And I walked. And
that's still Upper West Side, right?
Yeah, still Upper West Side. Yeah, 96th Street.
Yeah, that's nice. I like it.
Yeah, this is a great neighborhood. So long ago that it's like living in New York is just such. Even though I'm from New York, Long Island, it's just such a distant memory.
Yeah.
I don't really spend when I go home to visit my mom. I don't spend much time in the city. I only go in when I have to. And like my trips now to New York are I just rather spend the time with my mom. Yeah. And like she still works full time, so I just take care of things for her at the house. And like we take dance lessons in the evening and we'd have dinner. And so like, so New York is such a distant memory, but this is, it was such a time, the things that we've lived through. Yeah. And that, I mean, like our generation, because we're not that, far away in age, that we went through school and college and started our careers without social media, without cell phones. And like on 9/11, we didn't have cell phones. Like all the towers were out in New York City. And if you were able to get through on a landline, I mean, because everyone had landlines then, or a payphone. But like I was living in an apartment. I didn't have a landline. I only had a cell phone. And I couldn't get to Long Island. Because I would have had to take the Long Island Railroad. And everything was closed.
Yeah, everything was closed.
What was I going to do? Walk?
Yeah.
It's like, just stay put. So... yeah, so it's so interesting, and it was such an interesting time, and, it's kind of like, I wish we can go back to how people were then, and, just kinder, and, that's...
I mean, I remember sort of, at young artist programs. So I told you Glimmerglass 2 summers, and also I did Chautauqua one summer.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Chautauqua.
And I remember talking to like the artists that were singing there, because even at that time, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to do this, what we ended up doing.
Right.
Maybe something else in music, maybe be a teacher or, work at a university, arts administration, even something like that.
We need great teachers and great art administrators.
Yeah. So I would just ask tons of questions about lifestyle. I would be very blunt. Like sometimes I would say, what's your income like? And
totally.
Yeah. And it was such a different time, I mean, when I would ask a question about family, how do you handle the situation?
Yeah, how do you
family,
balance that?
Yeah, because I knew I wanted a family. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to get married, and they were like, yeah, I mean, when you're working in Europe and you're calling on a telephone, your family, wherever they lived in Iowa or Indiana or New York City or anything like that, you
remember a prepaid calling card when I first went to Italy.
Prepaid calling card.
In summer of 1997, and traveler's checks, and this was before the euro.
Yep.
So if you were flying from New York to Paris, then to Italy, you had to have, currency for each airport.
Right.
It was crazy.
That's right.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And a calling card.
Yeah.
My mom bought me calling cards.
Yeah.
And you had to dial this huge long number and then to God, it was so funny.
That was so wild.
But we didn't have cell phones then. It was such a great time. My God. Look, my cell phone's in my bag on Do Not Disturb. My mom knows I'm here. I mean, I live, 10,000 miles away, but she knows I'm here. So she's not going to bother me.
Exactly.
And it's it's nice to be, I think, it's kind of nice. I was on a 17-hour flight from London to Perth with no Wi-Fi. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And my mom, my brothers knew, everyone knew, okay, I'm not going to be available for almost 24 hours.
Yeah.
And when I turned my phone on, nobody had messaged me. So it was totally, I mean,
so they knew,
they didn't message me. But 17 hours. I mean, we grew up without this. So I'm okay for an hour or two, 17, but I mean, they're great tools, but I think they've kind of taken over.
Yeah.
They've taken over our lives.
I had a hard time with my kids because they were, of course, there's peer pressure because if their friends get a cell phone, then they have to get a cell phone, and
not just a cell phone, your kids are growing up in the time when iPhones were just coming out.
Yeah.
Or BlackBerry, if they're in college. Yeah, this is when BlackBerries were coming out and iPhones. And that's
iPhone
such a
was
huge
2007,
expense.
I think.
Yeah. Such a huge expense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have an iPhone until 2009, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I didn't have one until 2011.
Yeah.
I was sort of holding on to my BlackBerry.
Well, actually, no, it was 2011.
Yeah.
That's when I got my first iPhone, I believe.
Yeah. I think mine was the 4, the iPhone 4.
Yeah, it was teeny tiny.
It was so small.
And it was locked too, so you could only, and this was when I was freelance and I was singing in Paris, I was singing a lot in Italy, I was singing in Amsterdam, and you had to have a SIM card for every single country you were in. And I'm like, this is my new WhatsApp number. This is my new WhatsApp number. And no one knows how to get a hold of you after 6 weeks because you have a different WhatsApp number for every, and luckily they finally
they simplified all that.
They simplify that, and now I don't even use a SIM card when I travel. When I was in Australia, I used an eSIM.
Yep, do an eSIM. Yep.
And I did a daily rate, and what I paid for unlimited
calls and texts,
unlimited call was like 80 euros for 40. I think I was there for 45 days.
Yeah.
And it's you don't even have to get a SIM card now.
Yeah.
You just activate it. You buy it before you go, and then you activate it when you're there, so it doesn't charge you when you're not in the territory. But yeah, things have gotten so simple. So
I should show you my calling plan, because I have like an international calling plan on my as like my SIM.
Oh,
it's my eSIM, and it's international, so I can make unlimited calls in Europe.
Oh, nice.
And unlimited calls to the US.
Oh, cool. See, when I was in Australia, it was hard because I was at a 12 and 13 hour time difference with my mom because they didn't do daylight saving there. So it was hard. Like I didn't really talk to anyone while I was in Australia. Also, I wanted to like really I was so busy because I was doing Trovatore.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be there in the experience and enjoying the experience without, it's hard to like, you can't reflect on something. I can't reflect on something while I'm in the process. It was my first time in Australia. I was in Western Australia and I was just so excited to be there.
Yeah.
And I was super busy. And like, I would be in touch with my mom via text and like friends via text. But I said, please don't be offended if I'm not reaching out. I just need to be here, and I need to be going through all of the emotions that I'm going through and going through, all of the experiences here.
Exactly.
And I'm just not ready to talk about them. But I've kind of gotten like this now. I'm just so used to being alone that, I'm like, I can't talk about my experience yet. I need to be back in Berlin, be back in my apartment, reflect on it, and then I can talk about it. Like I'm just, my process has become so deeply personal that, sometimes I don't want to post on my stories every day. And I don't, I like to post, like, I should follow you with my personal, like my private Instagram. Not that
are we connected on your professional one?
I think we're on the professional one.
Okay.
I
said, I'm not doing Instagram all that much, but it is linked to my Facebook. So when I post something on Facebook, it shows up on my Instagram.
I haven't been on Facebook since 2013, but like I love to post positive quotes and encourage people. And
me too.
I see these things, and it might not necessarily mean that I'm going through this, that I know friends that are having a hard time, or maybe I'm having a hard time, realizing that, wow, my life is actually really good. And I always say this, I have a really good life, and I'm very thankful for that. And I know why I have a good life. I have a really great support system. And I know that, some parents, I'm 47 years old and my mom still help, like I'm so grateful for that. Even if it's just saying, Nick, you need to not be so this, and this, and approach it from a different, this is why I ask my mom for an opinion. I need someone who, yes, loves and cares about me, but also who's going to give me like a real opinion about something. And so I'm super thankful for that. And I just...
can you talk a little bit about maybe what you liked, didn't like, similarities and differences from working in the theater in Australia?
Oh my God. Okay, well, first of all, I loved it there.
Okay.
West Australian Opera. Like, Australian people are so cool. Okay. They are just down, like salt of the earth. Everyone was so welcoming and so nice and so happy to have me there. So Perth is the most isolated city in the world. Okay. The closest city, I hope I'm right about this. Like the research that I did, this is, so any of my Australian friends in Perth listening, you can correct me later. Okay. That the closest city is Adelaide, and it's like a 3.5 hour flight away. Wow. Yeah. So if you Google like most isolated city in the world, Perth, Western Australia will come up. Okay. And I'm such an East Coast girl because I'm from...
That's probably 500 miles, 600 miles away. Wow.
Yeah. let's just say you probably can't hop in your car and like be there by dinner.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's a full day of driving.
It's a full day of driving, and it's a 3.5 hour flight. So it's isolated, but it's also a big city. There's over 2 million people.
Okay.
But it's super chill. And the Opera House is super chill, but they get the work done.
Okay.
So it's like when you're there and working, it's the work. But when you have a break, there's like tea and coffee, and people are just like hanging out, and so down. Everyone was just so down to earth, and so I don't know how to explain it, and just so cool, and so.
Some fireworks, I think, just went.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're in like that neighborhood where like people just like walk out in the street and set off the fireworks in the street and stuff like that.
It's always just, I love celebrating anything. Just like you can go into the office and just like I would go into the office and like just chat with the ladies, like just about, we were chatting about hormones, and it's just very welcoming. Just super.
As far as like the structure, like it was like basically the same. You would do like 3 hour rehearsals in one day.
It was an intense schedule. I'm not gonna lie.
Like tech week.
Yeah, that was
dress rehearsals.
Yeah.
Sitzprobe, all that is basically the same.
All the same.
So that's pretty much universal.
Yeah,
worldwide.
Very little time off. I think we did get, Sunday or Monday, that was like the day off. Like we always had one day a week off. I believe it was Sunday.
Okay.
And then, we did 5 performances back to back. We only had one day in between, and so it was a very, very intense schedule. Like,
all right. How big was the house?
Oh, I think His Majesty's Theater is like 1,300 seats.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a big theater.
That's a big
old
theater. Okay.
West Australian Symphony, fantastic orchestra. And just
great.
The chorus too. Amazing singers. They do have a young artist program there too. That, because I felt, this might sound silly, I actually felt a huge responsibility going there as an American, because there were only Australians there, and most people who live in Perth, but they needed someone, and they needed someone fast to fill in.
Yeah.
And the way it worked out was just like, it's like in perfect alignment. Like, how it came together was just so great, and I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah.
Now I lost my.
You kind of like came, but you were. It's like saving the day anyway. So they were very happy to have you there.
Yes, but I also felt like a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
So like, not that I had to prove myself, but I think also American singers have this thing where we work really, really hard because the competition is so intense. And I never thought of myself as someone like a competitive person. No, I feel like. I don't know if this is right to say, but like for me, it's very personal. Like I know my place. Yeah. I've had to fight for it.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
I know. Do you know like these?
Like you're good if you can be like. I know. For me, I will go and work in some opera house, especially if it's a place where they don't speak English very well, and I won't feel like myself.
Right.
I'm on stage and I'm singing and I'm like, that's not me.
Right.
What am I doing? And I know that one has to be very sort of centered, I think is the word.
You have to be.
You have to be very centered, and you have to like, just like you were saying earlier, like, slamming the paper down at Juilliard and stuff like that. It's like, you have to be very, it sounds like you figured out like who you were at a very early age, which is so important because, in a sense, me personally, I feel like almost every 2 years I'm sort of rediscovering myself.
That's great.
It's like who am I? Like I was singing this way 4 years ago, and I'm not singing that way now.
Right.
I still feel like I'm learning stuff when I have voice lessons and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like finding your niche, and like sometimes you find your niche, and then in 5 years, that niche is gone.
Yeah,
you know, they want you for something else.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
And so,
I mean, I feel this way, and especially because the last, I would say, 2 years was when I started going into a little bit of different repertoire that like I knew, not different, but like I ended up singing the Countess in Piekdam at Deutsche Oper.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a last minute, I was covering, but I was singing the small role of the governess. And it was a new production. And the original singer left 2 weeks before the production opened. And then they brought someone very famous in to take her place.
Okay.
So it was like one older famous singer taking the place of, you know, another older famous singer.
Yeah.
And I was covering, and it was like, we can't put you on.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know why. I don't know if it was because they thought I was quote unquote too young. I don't know. It was a premiere, and whatever the reason was, I actually ended up going on for 2 performances.
Okay.
And then last season, getting called to jump in as the Countess in Piekdam again in Freiburg. And then last season, I sang the role of Bianca in Rape of Lucretia. So it was more of these like older, mature, more sympathetic, more authoritative roles, as opposed to singing Madalena, the femme fatale, just getting in touch with a different side of my personality, different colors in the voice, not being glam, all of these things. And I'm like, I get to be glamorous every day. Do you know? Mm-hmm. And then I get to Australia and I'm singing Azucena.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the cast, or I would say like all of us, are in our 40s or 50s.
Sure. And
having a Manrico who was the same age as me, they were like, the director, who was super awesome, and I loved him because he was the one who got me to just break out of my shell. And he was like, you're doing such great work. It's just not working. It's not believable. You look like Manrico's sister.
Okay.
And he was like, come to the theater tomorrow. Let them completely do your makeup. Let them try wigs on you and just see. And I allowed myself to transform into someone who I'm not. With this makeup, this dark shadow, someone who, because it was a traditional production and they were using this old lighting that was really, really, really bright.
Okay.
So even with aging makeup, it won't read. They had to do it heavy, where I had such dark circles and lines in my forehead. And then when I get to the theater really early, like more than 2 hours before, and I want to, and especially with something like Azucena, where it's not only so vocally demanding, but emotionally draining. And I'm not a mother. I don't have kids, but I really try to get into a role as much as I can, acting wise. And like method acting is not the best for singing. Because like and I had 1 month to get the role together vocally. I had sung it early on in my career in concert 14 years ago in Italy, in Festival Verdi, throw me to the lions, like when I'm starting my career. But I transformed into the character. And then I also had to transform my body language. I'm a trained dancer. I still take dance lessons when I'm home. Of course, I carry myself, they said, well, like, okay, now the makeup looks like you're old, but your body is still like young. So I had to use, but then how do you do this while still staying fluid and Azucena is
That's always a challenge,
it's
right?
a huge challenge.
Yeah.
So I have to use this.
And to keep it up for 2.5 hours too.
Because you go out and you sing that second act and you're like, oh my God, I still have act 3's, even though it's short, it's super demanding with all the men. Then act 4 is so emotionally draining. And you have to, from the very end of the opera, just give everything. And it goes, it's a bel canto too, but it's like 1 minute it's bel canto and the next you're singing balls to the walls and you're singing super piano and doing all of these things. And all of these, this is why I love Azucena. It's such an incredible role because it shows everything that you're capable of and all of your flaws. But you can get away with it because of the character too. Like my B flat at the end for the first 3 performances was literally like a cackle because I was so emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
That like I just you can do it in rehearsal, but then it's a different beast when you're on stage. And of course, looking at myself in this chopped wig for Act 4, and she's had the life drained out of her. They've beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And I love to study my face and say like, how do I use the color in my voice to also go along with how I look as the character? This is something that I can't necessarily do with all of the other roles I sing. I mostly sing like small secondary roles, and I love that. But with a role like Azucena and really transforming was like super cool. And then just in the beginning of December, I get called right after I saw you. Actually, Deutsche Oper calls me that night. And they're like, is there any way that you could learn Madelon in Andrea Chenier and sing it on Monday? And this was Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I learned it on Sunday. I had sung through it twice in May. And I was like, okay, something like it's a short aria. It's almost like Erda and Das Rheingold.
Okay.
She comes out, sings this like show-stopping aria, and then leaves. I literally learned it the day before.
Oh my
went
gosh.
on stage on Monday, like.
That's such a hard that whole. I mean, I think all the roles, big or small, are really difficult in that opera.
And I had done this production 4 times in the last 19 years as the Countess.
Right, a different character.
Totally different. The Countess, the one who throws the big party that introduces Chenier, and she wears this gorgeous, iconic peacock costume from this 1994 production, John Du. And they just finished. This was the last time Deutsche Oper was ever presenting it, and it's moving on to Darmstadt, and they're done with the production, and I got to sing Madelon in this at the last minute, and I felt like for a role debut that I learned the day before, that was pretty good. Like going out there. But this is also something about nerves, like the nerves of steel that I've built. I don't know if it's the facial reflexology for sure that has helped, regulate and calm the nervous system in any situation that I'm in, or the fact that, as I said just a little while ago, I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
And yes, I love pushing the boundaries. But like, I know what's right for me and what's, and there were times, where I've sung, I've tried to sing Damnation de Faust, like, okay, I have no business singing this, and like,
oh, that's like real high mezzo, right?
It's like, please, like even down a step, the aria is still too high for me.
Wow.
Or like Amneris, that's really pushing because it's high at times. The tessitura is very high, but. Pushing it, but like then I sing Madelon, I'm like, okay, this is like totally where I belong. But like at 47 years old, I still have, I hope, 35 more years to go.
If you keep taking care of yourself,
take care of yourself.
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Look at Greg.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Greg,
he's amazing.
Is he 75
He's
now?
71.
71.
Literally one of the
Sorry,
coolest. Greg, you're like one of the coolest people.
Yeah.
And like,
I totally
just
agree.
like,
I'll tell you a great story about him and I then. Go ahead.
I just need a little break though right now.
Oh, you want to take a break?
Little
Let's take a pause.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Yes, there we go.
Yay.
See, the levels are jumping. So we were talking about our buddy Greg.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And this, I admire him so much.
He moved. Did you get that?
I heard.
Get that message? His daughter, is going to school for vocal jazz.
Nice.
In Nashville.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And they're moving to Nashville to be closer to her.
I've heard like Nashville.
It's really up and coming. Nashville,
Memphis, yeah, like
Austin.
Really.
Austin is already sort of people. That's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag.
A friend of mine has been living there with her family for a while, and they love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God,
no state income tax.
Yeah, and no winter. You know, when people are like,
no winters.
Oh, I couldn't imagine like not having the seasons. I'm like, I definitely could.
It's hot as hell in the summer.
If I never had to wear a winter coat again, oh my God, no. Hate the winter.
Yeah.
No, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
Yeah. Well, it's like Florida. We were talking about Florida.
Oh, I would move to Western Australia.
Or Western Australia.
I was
there
like, I was there. I said, you guys can I'll sing Third Tree from the Left. And he's like, well, we really like to hire local people. And I said, you're not, listen, read between the lines. The more you hire me, the more local I will be.
That's right. Maybe we could do a package deal.
Oh my God, seriously, that's what I was like. We could do a package deal. Exactly.
Yeah.
You need low med soap? Yes. I'm here. I'm so willing to. No, it's just so far away though.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Yeah, it's 17 hours from London. You could get it, but you can't. I would have to stay in London, or if I decided to just pack up and move, it's just crazy travel. And then London, and then 7, 8 hours to New York. No, and the flight's so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe. Yeah, it's expensive no matter where you are in Australia.
Yeah.
Sydney's a bigger city.
I've never been. I'm dying to go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love just. Yeah. Everyone's but it's so far away. And I said, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, I always say, for someone who's, I consider myself high maintenance in the fact I wear makeup every day, I wear heels, I love to dress up, and I'm I want to live off the grid.
Yeah.
I want to grow my
South
own
Dakota.
food.
Yeah.
Well, I was I could, and I've never been to Costa Rica, and I was I could totally move to Costa Rica and live off the grid and grow my own food and just,
I don't think they have income tax either.
Yeah. And Costa Rica's hardly ever in the news either.
Yeah.
And I it's just, I was I could do that. And then I got to Perth and I was this is my off the grid. Because it's a big city, but it's so far away from everything.
Yeah.
So I'm this is what I consider off the grid.
Yeah.
This is, I could totally do this.
Yeah. So I got a great story about Greg Kundi. So we were singing relatively near each other one summer. I was singing Carmen at Oper am Steinbruch, you know where that is, south of Vienna. Mm-hmm. And he was singing in Vienna at Theater an der Wien. Mm-hmm. He was doing, what's that? It's a Rossini. Where Rossini started putting 2 tenors in all the operas, and one tenor was sort of a more lyric one, and the other one was real leggero. So he was singing the more lyric role. Okay. What was it? I can't remember.
Not Armida. No, that's not.
No. Was it? No, it wasn't. Is it Italian Girl in Algiers? That's Rossini also, but that's not. That wasn't. It wasn't at that.
Is there a Rossini Otello?
Yeah, it wasn't Otello. Anyway, so he was singing the role in this, and I messaged him on Facebook, and he was like, sure, come to the performance. So I came to the performance, and then we went out for pizza afterwards, and we were like chatting up. Like we weren't we were more like just acquaintances at that point, you know. But we were chatting it up, you know, two tenors and American and very similar interests and stuff like that. So we were chatting it up, and I was going to do, this was like July, and I was going to do my first De Griera in Massenet's Manon in September. And I just mentioned it to him, and he said, oh, I love that role. You know, I used to be like a French specialist, you know, with all the French lyric roles. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, since we're so close, you know, can I sing some of the role for you? And just like, and he's like, sure. He's like, you organize a pianist and a place in Vienna, and just tell me when, and I'll show up.
Wow.
And so I gave him a couple possibilities, and I set it up, and I got this pianist who I didn't know, was just a coach that someone recommended for me, right? And our schedules sort of lined up. And I started singing the aria from the second act. And he's like, no, let's go back to the beginning, you know? We started with the opening.
Oh.
We started with the opening of the opera, and we went through the whole opera. We were there for like 3 hours.
Oh my God. He seems like someone who just so down to earth
and he was loving it. Like he wasn't just like singing. He wasn't that at all. He was like getting excited. He was like, do you know what this part is really about? Do you know what he's really saying right here? You know, and like he was loving just working with me.
I love that. He seems like this type of
Didn't charge me a dime. I only had to pay for the pianist and for the space. And then he's like, "Hey, I'll take you out for pizza. Let's talk more about the role." And I was like, "Great!" Cool. So we talked about the role, and he said that I didn't know this about him. He studied for a long time with Alfredo Kraus.
Oh, okay.
And he said, the first time I did this role, I studied with Alfredo Kraus.
Wow.
So all of the dynamic marking and the phrasing that he gave me were Alfredo Kraus's.
Amazing. And he's like, he's paying it forward and passing it down. And this is, you know, something that I would love to do, but I'm not a good teacher. That's amazing. Greg is like, he's a legend.
Yeah.
Still with a full schedule at 71 and like traveling all over and just so nice and so down to earth. And I mean, I only met him in Chenier and we didn't really hang out, but like, because it was just such a short amount of time that we were rehearsing. But in the first rehearsal, he was just so unassuming, you know, and like comes out and is like,
yeah, he has like no attitude at all.
None whatsoever.
There's no Devo thing connected with him.
So
I mean,
humble and
just like what you were saying, he knows who he is.
Exactly, he knows who he is.
He's
been in this business a long time.
Yep. He knows what people expect of him. Yeah. You know, he knows exactly what he expects of himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and which is a very high caliber. And he's awesome. And
I love that, like, my career started with singers like this, and it's only, you know, and I feel like, and then I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this for more than 20 years now. You know, and it feels like I just started yesterday sometimes. But then, you know, I get a call all the time. I get calls to jump in all the time.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where we are in sort of our development as well, because
well, word gets around that people can trust you and they can rely on you. Do you think that Deutsche Oper, even as many times as I sung there, if I had shown up all the time with a bad attitude, not prepared, do you think he would call not only to sing, like I had less than 2 days. He called me on a Saturday night. I didn't find out, like, they didn't confirm until Monday morning at 10:30. And the show was at 6 o'clock that night.
Wow.
Now, like, or if I had a bad attitude, or if I show up not knowing my music, do you think they don't know that I could sing this? I said, yes, I learned. I sang through it twice in May just to see if it was something that, you know, because anytime I had done Chenier, I was only singing the Countess in Act 1. And like for the first few years that I had done this role, I left at intermission. I didn't stay. So I didn't even know the role of Madelon until like last season. When I was like, oh, okay, I can actually sing this. Yeah. So I sang through it, but I didn't learn it. I learned it the day before. I mean, okay, it's not in like, you know, like singing Dalila or something, but still, I had no rehearsal.
Yeah.
Okay, she walks out on stage, like, but my rehearsal was 5 minutes before the curtain opened. Okay, you stand here, you go. And I met with the conductor and he just played through the aria while I was singing for 2 minutes. And that was it.
Yeah.
And then you're out there and you're like, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And
if you didn't feel alive, you do now.
Yeah. And you know what? The thing was, I felt so calm because I knew. It's like,
yeah.
You got like...
I got this.
Like, first of all, if not now, when? And also, I've been busting my ass my entire life for moments like this to say, whoa, you know, like, maybe we underestimated her. Or, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they're thinking that or if they're thinking anything. Do you know what I mean? But I get called a lot. And you learn, you know, when I jumped in for the Countess in Freiburg last year, and it was also... oh, we already have someone, you know, but if we ever need a jump, you always need a jump in. Yeah,
yeah. There's a great quote. You're probably aware, even though I'm sure it's not directly on your radar, but in 1980, the U.S. Olympic team in ice hockey beat the Soviet Union team. Did you know about this?
No. So that's intense, though.
So this was the Olympics of 1980. And at the time, they had no professionals in the Olympics. These were amateur players. Yeah. So the players that were playing on the U.S. team, they were college kids.
Whoa, okay? I didn't know that.
And the Soviet Union, they were essentially professionals because these were guys, they were much older. They were in their late 20s and early 30s. And they were essentially professional players, but because they were living in the Soviet Union, they didn't play in a professional league.
Okay.
They were essentially in the army.
Yeah,
They were in the Red Army, and this was their service, was playing ice hockey, okay? So they were they would go around, they would do tours, this Red Army team would do tours, and they would play NHL teams, professional teams, and destroy them.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So they were predicted to win. They were playing kids.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
They were predicted to win the Olympics this year, and it's called the Miracle on Ice. They beat them in the second last game to play Finland for the gold medal, and they won the gold medal, right? So it's called the Miracle on Ice that they beat them, and they only beat them 4-3, but they still beat them.
Right.
In this game, somebody, they didn't record it, but they remembered what the coach said. The coach was a really famous guy, Herb Brooks, very famous coach. And he said in the locker room of that game, a really interesting quote to the guys. He said, you know, we're going to play these, if we played these guys 10 times, they would beat us 9 times, but not tonight.
Oh, interesting.
Tonight we win. We bring the game to them. And then he said, guys, listen to me. This is a great moment, and great moments come from opportunity. No, or it's the other way around. Great moments come from great opportunities. And so and then he's like, you've been training your whole lives for this moment.
For this moment.
You got this opportunity and you have a chance to make a great moment.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like something else you said, like none of the guys thought that they were going to win.
Yeah, totally, because they're like the underdog.
Right.
Sure.
They were thinking they're going to blow us out.
Right.
Because they had played like an exhibition game just like a month before.
Yeah, and back then, like, the Russians were winning everything in the Olympics.
The Soviet Union destroyed them in the exhibition game.
Yeah.
It was like 10-1, something like that. So they were
Gymnastics,
fully prepared.
Everything. They were
fully prepared to get destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, it was only Herb Brooks who was like, I know you guys can beat them. You know, you just have to believe it yourself.
You know, this is the thing. Like, you have to know deep down inside who you are. Whether it's sports, whether it's singing opera, anything where you're doing something out of the norm, ordinary.
Right.
Well,
when you want to reach a high level.
Yeah, and then you reach that level, and it's always like, okay, I've reached this level. Now there's always something more. I never feel like, oh, I'm done developing. I'm still going to my singing teacher. I'm still working with coaches, still working on this. And
some people would call that confidence. Would you call it confidence, or would you call it more like, I just know who I am. I know what I'm capable of.
Yes, and it's so funny because I was just about to say, like, then does this build my confidence? What has built my confidence? I've never, and I love using this term, it's so like New York, like, I didn't grow up having people blow smoke up my ass saying, oh, you're such a fabulous dancer. You're such an amazing singer. Right. No, my mom's like, if you want to do this for a living, I will support you, but you have to work your ass off. You can't be out like hanging out with your friends. If you want to do this, I'm going to support you. And it was like, I want to do this, and I wanted to be surrounded by it. And I wanted to go into the city when I was in high school and go to musicals and do all of this and go to the opera and go to the dress rehearsals at the Met. And I don't really even know what built my confidence. I guess knowing, having that deep sense of who I am. And, you know, and sometimes I'm like, who am I? I am who I am, I guess. I don't really know. It's like, yeah, did it come from, what came first, the confidence or you know what I mean?
Do you think that's something somebody could build, somebody could work, or somebody, you know?
I think I had to build it.
Yeah.
For sure. But it was also knowing, like, I don't know if you believe in God or the universe. Does this have to do with that? Having a deep faith in something that's more powerful than me, that brought me here. That might sound like silly or cliche or like, and I always think like, well, I wasn't brought this far to just be like, okay, kid, now you're on your own. No, I feel like
you're on a path.
Yes, and if I'm not meant to do this, or if I'm not going to be a singer or a performer, I always said I'm going on my own terms. The business isn't pushing me out. People aren't going to push. They're not going to hell no.
Right.
It's just like that letter at Juilliard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's a reel going around on Instagram that it was about a record producer. I don't really like, and it said the industry isn't breaking voices, it's breaking nervous systems. Because where we are right now with technology and social media, that we always have to put content out. That we have to post about our performances, or we're working on something. And I like to share these things with my friends, but I'm not someone who like has to post every single day or once a week or what, you know, that if someone doesn't get enough likes, this brings their confidence down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I've always been someone, and I don't know if this is because of my mom, which is great, but it's like when I was doing the high school musicals, my mom was at every performance and she never brought me flowers. And she said, if I brought you flowers for this one, you're going to expect them after.
Yeah.
And she said, it's not always going to be like that.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm here and I support you and I want to see pictures. And if I'm not there, I want to hear the recording and I want to, and she's still so much involved in that, but it's like, you can't expect who I am does not, my success doesn't depend on
the accolades you get.
Yes, and other people's opinions. So I never expect, like, I stopped reading reviews because I'm like, well, I'm never going to please everyone.
Right.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And like what I have to, and who knows, when I'm singing Azucena, they might compare me to the greats. I'm not one of them. Mm-hmm. My voice is totally different. I'm doing what I'm capable of doing right here, right now.
Right.
Will that change in 6 months? Probably. Am I still working on Azucena? You better believe it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could have done this. Now, I can do it, but I couldn't do it 2 months ago when I was on stage doing it for whatever reason. So I don't this is how I know who I am. I'm still evolving as a singer, as a human being, as a friend, as a daughter, as a sister, all of these things. Mm-hmm. But like, I never like with singing, yes, other people's opinions do count on like the work if they want to hire us. But I also think that being a good colleague has gotten me very far. Yeah. And I'm genuinely a good colleague. Mm-hmm. And like now is my turn to help kind of encourage the younger generations of singers when I'm singing, and people in the cast are significantly younger. And I like this because it's like, just go out there and like do your thing. Yeah. And the more experience you get and the way you react to things when they don't go right, I think this is what has built my character and has built my confidence, because it doesn't always go great. Not every conductor is going to love you, but it's how you react. I feel that this is what has built and confidence, like the core of who I know who I am in my soul and deep down in my core. I know who I am. And I think maybe that's where the confidence comes from. It's like, I don't know which is first.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing where, is it nature or is it nurture? For sure your mom had a lot to do with it,
totally. And I know not everyone has that, because they're like, you want to be an artist? You want to be a musician? Do something else for a living. Yeah. That's what you do in dreams. Or that's what you do as a side thing.
So hard as a parent, and I speak from experience, to know, the fine line between supporting your child and spoiling them.
Yeah, totally. I was... I think now, as I get older, I'm spoiled.
Yeah,
spoiled? No. My mom was like, if I see that you're not being serious about this, then... Yeah. But it was also a different time. I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we didn't have the distractions. Our bikes were and the friends in the neighborhood were the distractions.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't like dating boys when I was in high school, and it just wasn't something that I was interested in. Everyone knew me as the singer or the dancer, and I guess I became quote unquote popular that way because I sang at the national anthem at the basketball games and at pep rally and all of the homecoming or whatever, but like, that's why people knew me. And they also knew me because of my brothers, So like, but yeah, I think that this confidence really came from just having that support, but not having my mom like blow smoke up my ass and like inflate my ego, like keeping me really down to earth.
Yeah. It seems like it's such a big thing with opera singers, because especially when singers are young, we have like this imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
And when you study the biographies of some of the great singers, Pavarotti is the classic case.
Yeah.
He was like studying voice, but then he thought, I could never have a career, and he started teaching like elementary school music.
Yeah, totally.
And was doing that for a couple of years until he won the competition where he did his first La Boheme with Franny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people were like, oh, that's quite a voice.
Quite a voice,
Quite a voice you have there, Mr. Pavarotti.
Yeah. When he did the Verdi Requiem at La Scala, and he was young and nobody knew who he was.
Oh, yeah, without the beard. Oh, I love that video.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so
on
crazy.
VHS.
Yeah, okay.
At my mom's.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But, I often... I don't really do any teaching. If somebody asks me, I will give my opinion, and I'll give them as much time as they want. I try to like pay it forward. What I did, what I got from Greg, and some other tenors out there who have sort of helped me out. But when I do master classes, that's when I run into like all the voice types kind of thing. And I've done only a handful. I wouldn't consider myself a specialist at all. But when I do get invited to do one, you can see it on their face. Yeah. You can see the fear, and you can see that they just have this sort of mindset, that, what right do I have being up here, And I always say that out loud. Then I was like, do you ever think about, why you're doing this, and why you're studying and things like that. And we always sort of come around to, I tell a little short story about Pavarotti as well. And then we always come around to, it's like, okay, you're going to sing La Donna Mobile right now. Yeah. And there's been 500,000 tenors who've sung it before you, and some of the greatest tenors of all time. But none of them are you. Yeah.
Yes, this is so important. I hate being compared to people because it's like, no, you can't.
And art is the kind of thing where, comparison is the thief of joy.
I know, and it shouldn't be. We should learn from the greats, and there are some that try to imitate, which is fine, and I think that's flattering. But you're meant to stand out. You're doing this for that reason, to show your personality, to show your colors, and I never think of it as like when people say, oh, we're making music. The music is already made. I'm here interpreting it.
That's great. Oh, I'm gonna keep that.
Write this.
The music's already made.
The music is already made, and there are thousands and thousands of singers who have sung it before me and who will sing it after me. Yeah. But what is special about what I have to offer? Yes. And you have to find that, and maybe that comes from confidence. It also comes from a shit ton of experience. Yeah. And I got a lot of experience at Deutsche Oper Berlin, because starting a career at 27 years old in a repertory house where you have no time and you're just on stage every single day. And when I wasn't in stage, I was in the audience watching rehearsals and going to the theater every single night and watching these people. And what makes great singers, what makes great artists, is it their confidence? Sometimes not everyone is blessed with a beautiful voice. Not everyone is blessed with that's I think a blessing. I don't think you can like learn how to have a beautiful voice if you try to imitate, but it's your voice. And what do you do that makes you stand out? It could be that you're always on time and you're a great colleague. It could be that
you give it your all.
Because
a lot of singers don't give it their all.
Right. And the like ones who show up late. Phoning it in. Show up late and don't know their music. And I understand when you're in an ensemble, it's hard because you have roles they're throwing them at you at the last minute. And, I know what that's like, because they would call us up and say, hey, listen, you have to go on as so-and-so and you have 3 days to learn it. If you've ever been in a fest, chances are you've done this. Yeah. And it's nerve-wracking. And some people can't handle it, and other people thrive on it. I'm not sure, like 10 years ago, 14, 15 years ago, it was hard. I didn't know how to handle that pressure. Like in 2011, I became freelance in 2009. 2011, I sang my first Ulrika in Ballo and Maschera at Festival Verdi.
Oh.
In Parma.
Okay.
My first one. I was like...
Wow.
32.
That's pretty young.
After
for that
the first music rehearsal, I get a call from my manager, from Marco in Piccolomini, and he was like, okay, just listen. They're doing, as part of the Accademia in Parma, concert performances of Trovatore, and it's part of the Festival Verdi. They need you to sing Azucena. I know you can do this. Everyone knows you can do this. You're going to have some back-to-back performances. I had 4 ballos and 5 trovatores in 2.5 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Ballo was in 2 in Parma, and then we were going to sing in Modena too. And the trovatore was in Busseto, which is an hour outside of Parma. Like, this was just... And you know what? There was a time I honestly thought that I was going to have a complete nervous breakdown. I was 32.
Gosh.
I was singing in Festival Verdi. Ballo and Trovatore at 32.
That's crazy.
And it was like, if that didn't break me, and it didn't, then nothing was going to.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And you know what? I, in a way, wanted to break, and like, it was like, no, you're not you're doing this. Like, they could have probably called a big guest in to do, you know, and they were like, no, Nicole can do this. And I did it, and I learned a very hard lesson too. It was a hard lesson. Because I remember calling my manager crying and was like, I can't do this. I'm just, because I didn't, at that age, I didn't know how to handle it. Now it's like, would I choose to do something like that?
Probably not.
I don't think so. It was like, if you want me for Ulrika, I'll do that. Because I've actually sung Ulrika like 4 times now. And Trovatore only twice. But the Trovatores were also concert, and the Ballo was staged. Okay. And Ulrika's only in Act 1. But Trovatore, she's singing the entire time. And yeah, would I do that now? Probably not.
But when you get through something like that, that's also like, hey, totally. I did something I didn't think I could even do.
Absolutely. And I remember when I was totally done with that gig, and I was flying out of one of the Milan airports. I was like, that was a tough 2.5 weeks. I took a €300 taxi from Parma to Milan.
Oh my God. I can't believe he even took you.
Yep. And I was like, you know what? You just have to get to a point where you're like, 0 fucks given. And I was like, that's great. I just busted my ass. Yep. I think I'm going to take a taxi with all my suitcases instead of getting on and off the train with it. No way.
That's so crazy.
That's not the first time I took a €300 taxi. Actually, right before COVID, I was jumping in. I got a call. I was jumping in for Ballo and Maschera in Spain in Valladolid. And I had to be there in rehearsal that night. And I flew to Madrid, and they're like, the train's only an hour. I was like, no, I'm taking a taxi, and it was like €350.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And it was like 3 hours or something. It was something crazy. And I was like, if you'll take me, I'll pay you. I'll give you and I tipped them like $90 or something. Yeah. No, but there's some times where you're just like, nah. I took a So that was, I don't do that often. Awesome. This is something that I don't like to be like, oh yeah, just, throw money. No, but those were 2 cases where I was just like, you just got to do it. But this, I think also like the fact that I've jumped in a lot, and also coming when I finished the Academy of Vocal Arts, I went right to Deutsche Oper. And I'd always been at this, I don't want this to sound pretentious, but I've always been singing at a very high level. In like La Scala and Paris, and small roles, but roles that were, that
they're not going to take just anybody.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So like,
small roles or not, they're not going to take anybody.
So I think that, and just being on stage and growing up on stage has built the confidence, and like really knowing who I am and not straying.
Yeah, but I mean, even at Juilliard, you knew already that you at least had the potential to have a career like that.
And I was a soprano.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh God, I was, and I just knew it. It wasn't something like, oh yeah, okay, it's the ego. You have to know when and how to use it. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm so fabulous. It was like, no, I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of doing. Even if it takes me a lot longer to get there. That's like also something I was chatting about with my mom. We were talking about like success. Some people think that making tons and tons of money is being successful. And some people have success tied to money or money tied to success. And I always think that for me, personally, success is longevity.
Yeah.
And there are going to be
also
ups
what you
and downs.
do, Jerry Seinfeld has a great quote. You love quotes. I do too.
I love a good quote.
But Jerry Seinfeld,
just like a good sunrise.
I can't remember if I heard him in an interview or if this was part of his stand-up routine. But he said, in the 70s when I was sort of starting out in New York and as a young comic and in my career, it was never about how much money you made.
Right.
It was about what you do.
Yeah.
What was your job? Oh, you're a comic?
Yeah.
That's so great,
Yeah.
No one was saying, like, I work on Wall Street. You work on Wall Street?
Yeah.
That's so... No one was saying that.
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
oh, you're a Wall Street stiff.
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't matter if you have a yacht.
Yeah.
It was just like the idea that you were... that you're an opera singer or that you are a comic or whatever.
And I just happen to be making a living. Has it been easy? No.
No. It's always
hasn't.
peaks and valleys.
But I feel like, actually, I love Andrew Dice Clay.
Me
love
too.
Andrew Dice Clay.
I
love
him.
how he's like completely, because in the 80s it was, and also like, my mom let us watch this on TV. So like when nobody had HBO and he was on HBO on stage with the leather jacket, smoking, drinking, the mouth. I hate to say, degrading women, all of this stuff. Now you're like, okay, but I still follow him on Instagram and I love him. And I remember years ago, I vaguely remember this though. He was like on a reality show.
Yeah, I think so.
And like this dip in his career. And he's like, but every great like artist and everyone who has a career in the entertainment business has to go through these ups and downs. And it's just part of the business. Maybe some people don't go through it. They might not go through it with their voice, but they may go through something internal that we know nothing about, where they're still getting up on stage and doing it. But like right now, I have nothing. I have all this free time, but I'm using the time so well.
Well, that is your job.
Exactly.
When you're a singer, it's like, if you have some free time, boy, you better get some work done.
And you know what?
Get some organization done. You better take care of yourself. I have a
role debut coming up in the fall. I'm learning it now.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's also really difficult. Well, I think Benjamin Britten is very difficult.
Yes.
So and knowing me, the phone's going to ring and I'm going to get called to jump in for something. And I'm going to have to put it away for a while. So I want to use the time now.
Yeah.
And I'm organizing my life and I'll go and visit my mom for a couple of weeks at the end of March and I use the time well, and I'm not sitting home feeling bad for myself. And there's nothing wrong with having the time off. I actually think it's necessary, unless if you can't financially do it, then that's different. But I'm by myself. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have other people that I have to take care of other than myself. Right. So, okay, I'm in that position and like, yeah, there are, these advantages, but like the time off, I've learned to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. Actually, and not think it's like, I shouldn't like be ashamed also to have.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's kind of essential, this sort of going from gig to gig to gig to gig. I've seen singers self-implode that way,
totally.
They lose their technique. Yeah. They don't have the time to sort of reset, and this can go on for years and years until it reaches like the critical mass. And we all know singers who have blown up in the negative way. When they're not taking care of themselves in the sense that they're not using their free time.
Right. And also I say this because I am a holistic nutrition coach.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of yourself, there's going to be a time that you're forced to.
Yes.
And you don't want to get to that time. Because if you get a cold, you want to be able to recover really quickly from it.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's like really taking care of yourself, not just your voice, but your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. And getting on a plane, that's great. And working is great. And we all love that we're wanted in this business and that we're in demand that's amazing. And there were times when after I finished Deutsche Oper, even though I was singing my secondary roles, I was constantly singing and going. And when I was in Catania doing Ballo and Maschera for the first time, then I went straight to Lyric Opera of Chicago to sing Maddalena. Then I went to sing my first Erda in Leipzig, and it was all back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I just, at that point, I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't even be singing these roles. I'm not capable of singing. I'm too young to be singing Erda. I don't have the right color to be singing Erda. And I'm not contralto enough to sing Ulrica. And I knew that this is what I should be singing. Mm-hmm. And it was, but also that was like a long time ago in the beginning of my career. And like, these are the experiences that have built that core.
Yeah, you learn a lot in those experiences.
Yeah, totally.
You really learn a lot about what to do and what not to do, and also you learn a lot about yourself.
Oh,
what your limitations are.
Absolutely, and some people can't handle being away from their families. They can't handle staying in an apartment that's not theirs.
Yeah,
and being away and not being able to be social and all of these things. Yeah, and it's hard. I think human nature, we should be social and like, meeting people and hanging out and going out and but like, and going back to that podcast where I said that record producer was talking about like the industry doesn't break voices, it breaks nervous systems. Mm-hmm. And it's not only about, oh my God, I didn't get enough likes on my video, or I'm having a slump in being creative, or my voice isn't working right now, or I just feel unmotivated. I'm so busy and I have so much music to learn that I just want to crawl into a hole and not come out. And yes, these are the things being overwhelmed could also break your nervous system.
Yeah.
Being away from your family, if you have a spouse, if you have children, or being away from your friends in a city or a country, or you don't know anyone. You don't speak the language. You don't know where the grocery store is.
Yeah.
Things like this, that could also really break your nervous system too. So it's like knowing who you are, and I think, I don't know, I feel like all the experiences, and having that support, I guess, from my mom.
Yeah, that's where it started, right?
Right. And like, but like she also wanted me to go off and like fly.
Yeah.
And
there's a time, it's like I was mentioning before, it's like, it's always a thing with parenting. It's like, how much support do you give, because you could reach a point where they start to rely on your, for example, financial support.
Yeah, totally.
And they never learn to support themselves.
Right.
You know, they could go through their whole lives like that.
Yeah.
Do you do any recitaling?
I love doing recitals, actually. I was like a quote unquote resident artist, sort of, in Kunersdorf, which is like very far east Germany.
Okay.
And it was doing recitals, and it was coupled with making a CD. It was a fantastic package deal, and the way it happened was just so funny. I don't want to go into this story, but you know, it was just right place, right time, like, and yeah, I was doing them for a while before COVID. I did one in Florida, actually, in South Florida, in Coral Gables, back in May of 2023. It was a very short program, but it was like Sieben Frühlieder of Berg, some Strauss, some Brahms. One of my encores was the vocal modesty that I did for my Juilliard audition.
Cool.
And I talked about this, saying how, like, you know, I sang the Allerseelen and how important these, like, I have to pick pieces now that are part of my story and my path. And, like, you know, and then doing these recitals in Kunersdorf where I did the Rückerlieder of Mahler.
Wow.
All with piano, fantastic pianists I worked with, like, just incredible. 2 different artists, pianists that I worked with, just amazing, supportive, and just played like a full orchestra. I did Wesendonck-Lieder, Rückerlieder, Kindertotenlieder.
Yeah.
The Brahms, the 2 Brahms songs with viola. Hans Pfitzner, 6 Lieder that were like impossible. I don't even know how I learned these.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was doing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I loved doing it, but there's just, now it's just very few opportunities. So the last one I did was in May of 23. And I would love to do more of them because I love this very intimate setting, and also choosing songs that are part of my story and a part of my personality and development. And because when I was at Juilliard, it was like we had these vocal lit classes where you had to learn a new song every week, and you had to present it. And even though I was a soprano, you know, I still learned all the Strauss, the Brahms, the Schubert, not so much Schubert, but it was, even as a soprano, it was like, this voice is really more of the Strauss and Brahms, and now Mahler, and doing all of these. I would love to do more. And when you get to collaborate with a pianist who just loves this music and loves the voice and loves collaborating, it's a wonderful thing. I would love to do more of it. Are you like into recitals at all?
I mean, after COVID, my opera work kind of dropped off a little bit, so I started to create opportunities where I was singing a lot of recital, and I really love it. I get more technical work done in a recital. I suddenly sort of realize how much I get off my technique when I'm on stage.
Yeah, especially if you're doing that if you're doing like intense roles that are and that are long, and you have to really build up your stamina. It's hard to, or you're getting emotionally involved, and so
now I'm doing quite a lot of it, actually.
That's awesome.
So,
Fabulous.
A little bit here, but mostly in the States. Just because it's just a little easier with the language to organize. And I always pair it with, I can line up like 2 or 3 at one time.
Great.
So, and if I do that like within a 2-week period, then I can visit my parents,
Great.
go do the recital,
Love that.
see some friends, get back on a plane to Newark, come back here.
Come back here.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
So,
great.
yeah.
Recitals are so much fun. And as you said, the technique, because there are things that you can't hide behind an orchestra.
Right.
You can't hide behind a costume.
Right.
You can't hide behind a character. It's you in a suit with the pianist.
Yeah.
And the audience is like 5 feet away from you.
Yeah, exactly. They hear everything.
They hear everything. And but they also see, I think it's easier to really like let the deepest part, our soul really shine through when we do things like that, because there is no hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can, unless you're doing arias, you can but song? It's a very personal, a very personal thing.
Yeah. With the tenor repertoire, the difference between opera arias and song is that song is much lower.
Yeah, totally.
So it really focuses, it forces me to focus on my middle voice singing, which of course supports the high. So that's always right. Exactly. And I really realize, especially when I throw some opera arias into a recital,
of course,
I start to realize wow, Duca is a role I sing a lot. So Parmi, very middle voice.
Very middle voice, right?
Very middle voice, with some tough high notes too, and it does have tessitura issues as well. But you really I really realize when I sing that in a concert, in a recital, how far I am off my technique when I'm singing it on the stage. And I think I think on the stage I rely on the staging.
Yeah.
To kind of the staging gets me through, and the fact that you have this freedom to move around a lot more, lean on set pieces and get on the ground and stand up and things like that. But in a recital where you're just standing there and you're presenting the aria and you start walking left and right, well, you're going to be out of the spotlight.
Yeah, totally. You're going to be out, or you can't hear your pianist,
right? Or
you don't even have that much room to move around. I mean, this concert I did in Coral Gables was like in a museum, and it was beautiful. The space was beautiful, but it was not. Yeah. It wasn't a space where I could move around a lot.
It's one thing. It's one of the things I love about Pavarotti is that he had this ability to act so well through his voice.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't exactly like Laurence Olivier.
Right, exactly. But you always heard it. You always heard it in the voice, though. You always heard the acting. Yeah,
because
in the
voice,
he was
the voice was so solid, and he knew what and how to handle it.
He knew how to interpret.
Exactly.
He knew how to, and he had, just supreme control over his voice, There's a video.
We should all have supreme control.
Exactly.
Our minds, our voices. But now it's different because, as I said earlier, like with social media, if you don't put content out there. Yeah.
I've had people sitting in the chair where you are there, and they say the very same thing. I would make the question how do singers? What's the best way for singers to promote themselves these days? You know, and one guy actually said, you need a big social media presence.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, what? Are you serious?
Yep.
That
this
sounds
person
crazy,
is absolutely true. That's absolutely true what this person is saying. Yeah. But then you post from a performance and the opera house is like, you can't post that. You have to take it down.
Right.
I'll give you the video, but this is for archive purposes only. And you're not allowed to post it. And if we see that you post it, we're going to make you take it down. I understand because the orchestra and the thing, but how we're singing. Then if we record something with piano, they say, well, we want to hear you on stage in an orchestra in a production.
Right.
So it's
And actually, if you sound too close to a recording that's out there...
Do you block them on social media?
Well, I mean, with bigger houses, with bigger orchestras, you can't get away with it.
Yeah, totally. But because they have people like hunting you down.
Yeah, but I mean, the smaller ones, you can kind of get away with it
totally.
As long as you don't post too much.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't put a whole performance on there, you know.
No.
And it's getting harder and harder.
Yep.
To I get some spies out there, and I ask them to make a video, or if they don't feel what.
Totally.
Yeah.
We need to. I sang only one performance as Madelon and Andrea Chenier. I have no idea when I'm going to sing that role again.
You need it.
And it was a jump in for me.
We need it.
None of my friends were available. And my very dear friend was like, I have a ticket to the Music House. Yeah. And then he was like, forget it. You're making a debut. I'm coming. And he recorded it.
I hid a guy.
He videoed, and I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Well, it depends on how you use it as well. It's like if
30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you're using it on an Instagram account or a YouTube account that's already monetized, it's like you're making money off of them. It's like I could see how they could be a little bit upset about that, but it's like, come on,
I put mine on private on YouTube and then just send out the link to people.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. But I mean, I put a guy in the balcony one time for a final dress rehearsal of Lakme.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that's a hard role. That's a great role for me.
Totally. And
they don't do it very often, and it's like I need to get really solid clips of this, you know. And the artistic director caught this guy. Somebody reported it to him, and he caught this guy. And it was still early enough in my career where it was an actual like video camera, not a big one, but I mean it was that big.
Yeah.
And he took the tape out. It was a little, cassette videotape like that.
Oh my God.
And he like called me into his office and he said, I can't let you have this. And he like threw it in the trash. And he's like, all you have to worry about is singing well. And I was like, come on, we're in, and you know, he was too old. He was too old school, probably not really that old, but he was too old school to understand that this is how we disseminate our information worldwide.
Yep.
You know, it may not be the whole aria. Right. It might just be the high notes. Right. It might just be this little section. Little section of a duet that I thought I sounded pretty good. Yeah. You know, it was nice balance with the orchestra, and those are like solid gold.
Yeah, totally. I mean, from the Trovatore that I just did in West Australian Opera, I was like, but I wanted to hear. I was like, oh my God, like what? And then I was like, okay, because I needed to know what I have to work on for next time. You know, I didn't post any of those clips on Instagram or YouTube. Okay. No. First of all, it's the entire opera, so I can't even like cut and paste and put it on like a private. But also, I have other colleagues that I'm singing with too. I mean, Alcina does sing. Yeah, it's a video. It's a video. It's like an archive.
Put it on iMovie. You put it on iMovie, and then you can cut it out.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Thanks. We can talk about this off the record.
I mean, a friend of mine from the U.S. Who's having like a little dip in his career right now, he called me the other day, and he was like, what's going on in Europe? Like, who are the best agents? Give me the top 5 agents.
I'd be like, get your ass over here and do it yourself.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I know.
He's a good friend. So, you know, and then I also went looking around to like see, he was a baritone, and I always started looking around at the baritones that I had worked with, and what their websites looked like,
totally.
You know, because just to give them advice, and I mean, I went to this one guy's, I probably just leave names out of it, but I went to this one guy's website, who I know is sort of like, he's killing it right now.
Right.
He doesn't need clips.
Right.
It's like he's the kind of guy where anytime they're doing Wagner or a Strauss, he's on a short list.
Okay.
And he doesn't need clips.
Yeah.
But there he is, 7 clips on the front page of his website.
He might have paying people. He might have a PR person or his agency. Like some people take, I mean, I have to update my website terribly. It has not been updated in a year.
Yeah.
And I hate to say, not that I don't care, but I'm like, I have to gather all the stuff, then I have to send it to my webmaster. He, you know, like, he's nice enough to do it for me. I mean, I pay him, of course, but like, it's not my website. Even like the system is so out of date. He's like,
yeah, mine is too.
He said, there's a chance I could lose everything if I go in. And he's like, I just want you to know this is what could happen. So like,
make a copy of everything.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that. So I
well,
mean,
you
can talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, you could put things on a hard drive, an external hard drive.
I have that.
As opposed to like putting things in the cloud or something like that. I lost a bunch of photos one time because I didn't have them on an external hard drive, and
I think I have all my stuff on.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, external hard drive is probably a good way to go. The other thing you can do is, especially if you make it sort of a private account, is to put it on your Facebook. Then it's in the Facebook cloud. And the Facebook, I'm not saying post it on Facebook. I'm saying you can store things on Facebook. You know, you can have you can have photo albums on Facebook that are private, that no one can see.
Wow. I mean, I do have things saved on an external hard drive. I learned because my first laptop, I lost all these old photos from when I first started at Georgia Oprah, and I lost all of those photos because they were on like a chip for the camera. Yeah. And I never backed anything up. And anyway, but like, websites are important, and like, people need to we need to be visible nowadays. Yeah. And I don't know. It's, for me, it's like, am I like overinflating myself? I don't know. I do what I do, and like, I don't know.
Did have it wasn't a podcast, but I had a short little conversation with someone who works for an opera singer as their like sort of
publicist?
Media, like a publicist. But they mostly do these clips, you know, for Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that do that. I don't like to give a lot of stuff away. I'm nobody, but I like when people are curious about me.
Well, the way this ties in because you know, of course, when someone says, hey, do you know this singer? They're really great. Like, we want to hear them sing the whole aria. Right. But when you're surfing on social media, 30 seconds max.
Totally.
That's how you can kind of get away with it.
That's what I just
15 to 20 seconds, and you know, people are like, fink.
Yep.
You know?
I literally just posted something. It's 30 seconds of singing, and there is no introduction. It is me immediately like starting the aria of Mablon. And it's only the first 30 seconds, because I posted it as like, I was posting with photos. So for some reason, I don't even know. I thought it was going to post the whole thing. It only posted the first 30 seconds.
Oh, and I was like, because there's a limit on the reels somehow. Exactly. I don't know how you get around that.
I think if you just do like a post just of that. And not with pictures. So it was like a picture, then the 30-second clip of me singing, which I thought was the whole aria, and then more pictures. So I think if I had just done a single post of me singing, it would have been the whole aria, I believe. I'm so technologically savvy that
I'm sort of learning by failing too. Like, I try a bunch of stuff all the time, and I sort of like, you know, my interface blows up. We're kicking it old school. I don't know if I mentioned that. Kicking it old school, you know. I just have my phone sitting on the table when we're recording this conversation.
This is like the longest podcast I've ever done. We're just like sitting having a conversation.
Oh yeah, we've been going 3 hours. That's a normal length for me.
Really?
For this podcast, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we're just chatting. I mean, we're having tea and coffee here, but I mean, if I get some of my buds on here, we're drinking.
Yeah, see, I can't do that.
And then we can just like, I mean, that's when I get the calls the next day. Exactly. Like, Eric, can you cut that part out?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, no.
Can we cut out that part about going to the strip club?
Like a whiskey. I like the idea of whiskey only because I watch, you know, Outlander, my new favorite one. Well, I love Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But Ransom Canyon, they were drinking like...
Oh my God, Yellowstone, they are pounding that whiskey. It's probably Jack Daniels or something like that.
They really make it look... if I just smell it, I'm like, whoa, no, I can't. No, I have to have my tea in my thermos right now.
What's the other series I was watching where I would just watch it and they'd be pouring themselves whiskey? I'm like, I'm going to go get myself.
Yeah.
I think it was Suits. Have you ever seen Suits?
I've never seen it.
It's a really, really great show.
I think I tried to watch the first episode. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. But anyway, they are pounding the scotch in there. It's like every time I see them pour it, I'm like, I'm kind of...
this Netflix...
Kind of like my mouth is watering.
Are you like, you've hit your threshold, you're like, it's whiskey time.
Yeah, exactly. Is it after 9 yet?
This show on Netflix, Ransom Canyon. It's like...
I've heard about it.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's only one season so far.
Okay.
With Josh Duhamel. Oh my God, I love it. It's just like gritty drama, and they're drinking whiskey all the time. I'm like, I can't even smell what I'm like, whoa. Literally, I get like tipsy watching them drink it.
Yeah.
So no, we're behaving.
Yeah.
We're behaving on this.
I love.
Podcast.
There's some really fun. I mean, there's actually too many series out there. You know, like you'll say that this Ransom Canyon to me, I haven't really heard of it.
Yeah.
You know. Have you seen Pluribus?
No, you
heard about it?
I've never even heard of it. I'm not like a big, like, I have to,
Right.
But there are a few that I love.
Yeah. Yellowstone is awesome. Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Mine too. Me too. I love it. So badass.
Love Tom Hardy.
Oh,
I love Tom Hardy. And he is brilliant in this. Like, the acting is just... And what I love about this show is it doesn't... I don't feel like they're acting. They are these characters. And, like, that's when you know the acting is so
good and so gritty.
It's so gritty. And the chemistry between everyone in the show is just unbelievable. It's brilliant. It's not a series that I could binge watch because it's very violent.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. And the episodes are so intense.
They're so intense. And I've only watched it once through, and I was like, it's not a series I could actually like go back to.
Rewatch. Episode 11, that was so good. I gotta go back. No.
Like Outlander,
it's like once is enough.
Yeah, Outlander I could do this with, like certain episodes that I could watch, but and also another series that's old, that's like more than 15 years old, but it's also really intense and very, very violent, is Rome.
Oh yeah, I've seen Rome.
Oh my God!
Lots of murder, lots of rape.
Yes,
a lot of rape.
Yeah, a lot of that. But I just thought the acting was so brilliant.
Yeah.
So Ray Stevenson, oh my God, who passed away like a few years ago.
Oh.
Loved. It was like, he was like the last man standing on that show.
If you like Peaky Blinders, you would like Boardwalk Empire.
Okay, I have to look into it.
That's all I'll sort of say about it, but
okay.
Because I don't want to spoil too much. But
what streaming platform is it on?
It was originally on HBO, but you might be able to find it.
HBO, actually.
Okay, yeah, I do too.
Yep.
Is it not awesome?
It's awesome. Yep.
Do you get it like through the VPN? You have to get a VPN.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
And because my mom has it at home, when I was home during COVID, I created a profile.
Yeah, and then you just need the VPN to because you can't get it if you've.
Back in 2016, and I just kept it.
You just kept it, yeah.
Everyone's like, "How are you getting your emails?" And I was like, I'm using my phone on roaming.
Magic.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, a friend told me because not a singer, he was working in Beijing, and he's like, you have to get a VPN when you're in China.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming after us. They hear us now. No, but it's true. And then I just kept it. Yeah. So because actually sometimes now it's gonna not work. Netflix sometimes works on a VPN, and sometimes it's like you're using a VPN. So and like the Netflix
you get different
shows.
Right. Same with Disney. I don't know if you have Disney Plus.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Yeah, I want to get rid of Disney Plus. I don't watch it that much, but you do get different shows if you turn on the VPN or not.
I have Stars, and that only works.
That's a good one.
Because we have that. My mom has that. Stars, Max, HBO Max. Those are the two. Like,
the one that I want, that I'm pretty sure I have to get a VPN for, is Paramount Plus.
I tried. So my mom has Paramount Plus. I can't even sign in with a VPN. It won't let me on. Yeah.
Because you know what series I want to watch? Landman.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, it's so good. There's so many clips. Well, now you're going to get clips on it on your social media.
Yeah, totally.
Because we just said it. But yeah, it's so good. Ali Larder? You know who it
I'm
is.
sure by
if
face.
You saw her face.
Yeah.
She was in like all these teen movies in the late 90s and stuff like that. It's an awesome show.
Cool. Yeah, before Yellowstone was on Netflix, because it just came on Netflix like a year ago.
But not all the seasons.
Not all seasons, but they're on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I tried, I couldn't get in. Yeah. And there were other shows that I'm not a reality TV person, but I do love TLC. And I love like the 90 Day Fiancé franchise. And that, they have TLC through HBO Max. Now they have channels.
You can do channels. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. HBO Max is pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. So like I have my profile, luckily, because even with the VPN, I don't think I would have been able to use it.
Yeah.
It's just starting to come here like next week, I believe, or this week. Max, I saw a thing in Hong Kong. Yeah.
That's cool.
Like starting, I think this week.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Max is good. I'm not like a huge TV person, but I usually fall asleep to like watching something. So
that's awesome.
Outlander, Peaky Blinders. Tom
Peaky
Hardy.
Blinders.
Yeah.
That's a really awesome show.
Oh, I had to watch it with subtitles. It was like, I can't.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, like what are they?
Yeah,
I think it's just so brilliant. Yeah.
Totally.
Apparently, there's a movie coming out.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
All the characters are dead, so it's going to be all new characters.
Exactly. So it'd be all new characters, except it's hopefully Tom Hardy's in that one.
Right. Did he not die in the end of his...
Did he? I don't remember.
The end of his sort of character arc? I thought
he came back. I thought he was like supposed to die.
They thought he was dead, and then he came back.
Maybe he's dead. Oh.
And then at the end of that arc, I think he was killed. Anyway, should we wrap it up?
I think
3 hours.
That's
and,
good.
And I hope it's only part one.
Oh my God!
Because
thank you
we can.
So
I feel like we could chat for a long time. And I mean, we even talked about some topics we never got to. So
I know. I have a habit of doing that.
No. It's okay. What I love is the long form. Because think of like the Tonight Show and stuff like that, where they've got 7 minutes to talk to somebody,
totally.
It's like, no, like we need to unpack the subjects, and also, one of my goals with this podcast is also to like bring people together. And I believe you bring people together when you hear, I think this way. And okay, why do you think that way? Well, here's my perspective. It's all about perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you hear people's perspective, and I'm sure, young singers are going to hear this, and they're going to hear the way you talked about, your confidence, and they're going to love your origin story,
I
and
hope
stuff
so.
like that.
You just have to believe in yourself and know that you're here for a reason. And whether you want to be here for 5 years, 10 years, 45 years, 50 years, that's up to you.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Yeah, you just have to know. And there are going to be people who try to break you down. And you just have to. And there have been people that have tried to break me down.
Yep.
Even colleagues. And you just have to stand firm, and you have to know who you are, whether they're trying to do it deliberately or not. It's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
you know, we all have our place and we all have something special to offer and something unique. And yeah, that's yeah.
Awesome.
You just have to keep going forward, and you have to find that very deep confidence, not an ego thing. It is, but it isn't. It's just knowing what your
limitations are,
yes.
and knowing. I often feel that knowing that I put the work in,
right.
That also adds to the confidence element.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, I know I put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had whatever 10, 15 voice lessons. I had 10, 15 coachings on this role. You know, I was lucky enough to do it 3 times before this production, and just because this is a different house in a foreign country, I'm going to have no problem with it as long as I can stay centered.
Yeah, or when you get called at the last minute.
Right.
Pack your bags, you're going to Australia, and you have 1 month to get Azucena ready. But it's a role that I always kept continually working on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not
that's
like
a
I
big
don't
thing.
let the
That's a
grass
big deal
grow
too.
under my feet. I would take it to a lesson or take it to a coaching and say, I know it's something I have to like re-prepare. So there are a bunch of roles that I have that I just take to a practice room or take to a coaching or a lesson and just keep it because, you know, or something like mud lawn where it's learning the day before.
Some people would say that's also manifesting as well.
Oh,
when you're practicing these arias, like I want to do this role. I'm going to practice it and practice it and practice it, and it's going to come to me.
Yes, I am. This is something we didn't get to talk about. I am a huge manifester.
That's great.
And I believe in the law of attraction. And you put out there and you speak it into existence, and you thank whoever you believe in that it's already there and given to you.
Yep.
Not, I would like to. You have to.
It would be nice.
You have to be firm. And this is also something that comes from my confidence. It's like the steps of building who you are. Mm-hmm. You know, and some people might say, well, we don't really know who Nicole is. Yeah. Well, this is one of the most candid conversations I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
With someone, you know? And yes, I'm a huge manifestor. I absolutely believe in it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because this is deep down knowing.
Yeah.
It might not happen tomorrow. I might not get a call tomorrow, but it might happen in a month or in a week.
Based on the repertoire you sing,
you know,
it might happen in 35 years.
Yeah, totally.
But you're going to be ready.
Exactly, but ready. Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. All right.
Oh my God, thanks so much for having me.
This was so much fun.
It was. Thank you so
Everybody
much.
Be kind.
Yeah.
And
believe in yourself, too. And keep working your asses off.
That's right. Put in the work.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you later. Be kind, everyone. Bye-bye.
Oh my God, thank you. That was so awesome.